Does get the kill, but still they're getting low evolve, flashing in, getting Phoenix moved back in. That's a beautiful play there out of the Azir.
And 100 Thieves, another ult from Prismo. Phoenix, he's dead. That's going to be the Quadra instead.
Oh, to the back line, a double Cataclysm, a Soligo and Prismo, and they're basically arms in the air, looking for help from the team. Their Contracts finally gets in there to help, but Lost able to deliver out the damage as the marksman.
Showstopper down, but Revenge too low to really do anything as Prismo is able to take him down. Now Soligo finds the stun in onto Matt. They're going to chase him down. They'll get that kill as the other side. Prismo going to chase down for one more. It's 4 dead. Donkler, who said it needed to step up and carry, and he is doing that in a big way here. Trades again is there. They get the ace, and Gamecom make it back. TSMA Academy, they're going to win the game.
Oh my word, that got me perfectly hyped. Hello and welcome everybody to the 2020 Spring Academy Playoffs. I am so happy to have you here. And wait, who is that? Is that Raz?
What's up?
Raz, is that you?
Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
I love it. I'm so happy to have you here. Everybody, we got Barento, Raz, Mohammed hanging out in the show today here. I'm Riv, as always, but we're going to be delivering you 100 Thieves versus TSM Academy. And 100 Thieves Academy coming off as the reigning champs. So it's got to feel good that you're back into playoffs. They can't let it go at this point. They got to keep playing strong.
Yeah, you got to have returning champions to playoffs. While it's a struggle to have that in the LCS, I think Academy, it's good to see the ability to defend your damn title. So I want to see what 100 Thieves has. Of course, drastically different roster, but I still love the fact that, you know, coached by Kelsey, all the same. I still have Prismo. Fake God, I guess, was in LCS the last time, but I think he's a phenomenal top laner as well. So I want to see what they can do coming into the quarterfinals.
Right, so 100 Thieves going up now against TSM Academy. I should say 100 Thieves Academy as well. Looking at some of these players and how this works in the play, as we see the playoff bracket here, it's going to be a tough match to start off. You're going up against Dignitas next, a team who expected to be at the top of this playoff bracket, along with Cloud9 up there to face the other squad on the top half of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's a lot more competitive coming at the playoff bracket, because at the beginning of the split, rightfully so, everyone said that Dignitas was highly favored to just win it all because of the fact that they just had veteran players throughout. But Cloud9 made a huge run after the first few weeks. And then just the final weeks going into playoffs, there was just a huge, tiebreaker situation. Every team was pretty much at the same wins and losses. And I think TSM Academy came out looking far stronger than a lot of the other teams. Like, I think they're stronger than, of the 4 teams before the bye, I think they're looking the best.
Absolutely. Everybody realized it was a pretty murky soup. They brought their strainers into week 9 and they started to separate, if you will.
Yeah, the Mark Z soup.
But moving forward, yeah, exactly. Moving forward, again, we're so happy you all could join us here. We hope you're all well with your families and whatnot, staying safe, and that we can deliver you the LCS and Academy here online. Thank you so much for tuning in. As we look at the teams today, we were talking about 100 Thieves a bit first, and they are going to be tested. You know, Spica has been playing so well recently for TSM Academy, and Contracts is really going to need to be able to focus that top side of the map, because it seems like Spica's been living up there a bit more than at the bottom.
Yeah, because consistency is huge. The fact that if you looked at TSM, their main strength is bottom side of the map, so he can always kind of rein that in. But to the point that you just made, the last time they faced off, which was literally in the last week before the playoffs, he was able to help out Big Dokes in the top lane. So it doesn't even seem like they really have a weakness strategically. If Contracts wants to find a way into the series and make it competitive, then I think, yes, you have to get Fake God rolling really early on. Or Soligo. I actually think the Soligo has been, panning out really well. But at the end of the day, top side of the map has to be strong for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, you're looking at the Fake God there. Real God against FlyQuest in week 8, Dignitas week 7, Immortals week 7. If you can get Fake God going, it kind of almost has that, and obviously tutored under him, that someday style of carry to the game where you're just like, wait, where did all this come from? He has teleport up again and he's in every single fight. So definitely looking to that for the top side 100 Thieves, as we were saying. And now looking at that bottom, talking about those AD carries a little bit, looking at their stats a little lower in CSD and kind of that experience share, but there's reasons. You can't always take the stats at face value.
Yeah, because, fasting Senna has been a thing. And on top of that, Aphelios kind of showcases that they're still playing towards bot side, but he does have bad matchup like Kalista and MF as well. So that's why laning phase with blue a little bit more tougher, but TSM's always been a stronger team fighting team. So I think at the end of the day, like, we're going to be looking towards Prismal and what Prismal and Lost will be doing in team fights. So I want to see what the strategy is going into game one in general, because even though I have a lot of these expectations coming in through the regular season and what they've shown in the last week, teams can just change it on a dime going into a best of 5, and we'll probably see the most creative composition in game one. If it doesn't pan out, then they'll just go back to what's worked during the regular season.
That's one of the things I've been finding so interesting is the unique picks coming out here in the final few weeks. Maybe teams feeling comfortable that they have a playoffs position that they obviously can't move up to a bye seed with. So get in something that'll throw off your opponents that you may be using, or just leaving to the wayside and grab a ban from in the playoff situation. Tom Kench first onto that list.
Nothing's changing here. So like the fact that TSM has taken away Tom Kench, they do this on both sides. Trees doesn't have a propensity to play the champion. He's gone towards Braum more frequently. And Pantheon, these are the exact same bans that they've gone again, like they've done in the final week versus 100 Thieves. And I think the set ban from 100 Thieves is just really good in general. It's far too flexible of a pick. Top lane, jungle, support. So even if you're trying to counterpick the top lane for Fake God, you'd have to really wait until 4-5 to go for your top lane pick. So just take it away from TSM right from the get-go.
Felios banned out. Lost and Prismal both playing that quite a bit. And we'll see what the final bans are here. If they keep focusing that bot side, we still have quite a few of the supports up that would be troublesome. As Ornn gets taken out, there's the Fake God.
So the only power picks available are Senna and Kalista. Kalista is far more valuable when the Tom Kench has already been banned. There are a few Senna lanes that you can go for. Senna Rumble still available. Senna Nautilus maybe, but it's not nearly as powerful as the Senna Tom Kench lanes. And teams have been far more willing to play into Senna non-Tom Kench. So Yuumi being banned on red side is surprising. You can go for a 3-pick Yuumi, so I'm surprised that they've gone in that direction. That's an easy first pick on Kalista for TSM.
A lot of work to be done in these fights. Who they're going to be throwing in? We still got some tanky supports on that, but Thieves know the kind of composition that TSM is going to go for, so they put a fighter in the mix right away.
All right, Renekton early. I mean, it's still a flexible. It can go to both mid and top lane, but I want to see what 100 Thieves want to do with the pick. But with Kalista, you'd have to be concerned about Kalista and Taric. It's a great combination. It's also pretty damn strong in team fights.
We see the Zac again?
For
Spica?
It could be. I mean, it's possible. I would wait till 4-5 to go for a Zac. You can literally do anything once you have both Kalista and Taric locked down. So really flexible on the side of TSM, but it already showcases that they're doing exactly the same strategy that they've done during the regular season, and even busted my team up with that with the 2 picks here. So J4 is safe. That just means that they want to hold on to mid and top going into the second phase.
And we just saw Spica in the reel coming into the show, hitting the Cataclysm, so they're going to be going back to that favor. As it's Xayah Rakan bot lane. Lovers duo, safe for Prismal and Breezy. We said there might be a lot of action down here, and that's one way to either get into that action or prevent it from happening.
At least from this point forward, it's easy for TSM to start banning away tank junglers. Sejuani, I think, is a pretty decent first ban to go for. I think TSM's draft, I wonder, because my first question is Olaf. Like, do they want to play against an Olaf when they have Kalista and Taric? I think it's a pretty good pick for 100 Thieves. I think Contracts is also a good Olaf player. So I know that they first banned the Sylas. I want to see if they want to throw another, just like any bans at the jungle.
Did play it back in week 4 against Dig, has shied away from it, seeing it banned against him so much. So that would be great for Contracts to be able to put that in his hands. The Rumble gets banned out. No mid lane Rumble coming into this one, along with a Gangplank away from the Dokla. A lot of things could just be flexed, honestly. What's the final ban here for TSM? It's 15 seconds left. Like you said, they could still be banning out junglers on the side, 100 Thieves.
But with the GP and Rumble bans going through, Rumble is just such a strong mid lane pick, more so than a top lane pick. It allows you to, have a lot of windows to rotate towards bot lane and look for dives there. So they're just trying to protect the bot lane. I don't think this is an aggressive Xayah and Rakan pick per se. They might be trying to use it, yeah, there it is, as safe side. So they can have the Elise go up towards the top side. I remember it was maybe last year when we were seeing Elise Renekton so heavily for top lane. And now with the Blade of the Rune King changes, you're seeing Blade of the Rune King, Black Cleaver, carry Renekton top lane. This might be the strategy for 100 Thieves.
They've pinched Dokla pretty hard on everything, and he pulls out the Poppy. Okay, I was gonna say he has the Aatroxes, the sets, a Kled back there in week 6, but Poppy top.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is TSMA Academy saying right from the get-go, we ain't taking no chances. No top laner ever wants to go up against Renekton and Elise, especially if the strategy is to play towards the bot side. So this is just them saying, Dokla saying, just give me Poppy, I'll go down in CS, I'll play safe, and I'll let you guys carry.
Yeah, and then you throw down the hammer later when you can. Azir locked in on the other side for 100 Thieves. I believe we got a most recent play out of that, but it was actually by Evolved as I look at my stats. So Legal's going to take that into his hands for this game. A decently well-rounded team with quite a bit of safety. Rakan engage is going to be big for 100 Thieves, so he can get in. But I think a lot of people are going to be able to look at Breezy when he's doing
Yeah, so just taking a look at this, you're right about the engages coming in from Rakan. Like, that's really what they're looking for 100 Thieves. Like, that's all they got in terms of that. Maybe a flank coming in from Renekton, but if you're flanking as a Renekton pick, then you're in a bad situation.
Right, you've conceded the lane, and I said I need to.
Or at least or at least in the setup for team fights. So I think from the side of 100 Thieves, I would have liked them to index into a 1-3-1 a little bit more heavily. So the Azir pick means that they're still wanting to team fight. So I expect Elise to be topside early. Still not like fully committing to it, just wants to give Renekton an early lead before going to the bottom side of the map and then kind of giving them some help. Early dragon fights are going to be important, just because if Elise should be conceding the first two, or at least the first one for sure, but then needs to start contesting it so they can get their composition at least an even point.
All right, we'll have to find out. So as with previous days, at the end of the Champion Select, we are going to take a quick break to preserve competitive integrity and keep the competition at its highest level. We'll be right back with the game as it is going, and we will cast it for you. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to game one of 100 Thieves Academy versus TSM Academy. Riven Raz here to bring you the highlights and all of the game in full as it goes. And I'm excited to have you here, man. You know, the one and only from the GG team. Not the one and only, but you are the one and only Raz from Golden.
Yes, of course. Pretty damn sad that I didn't get in through just like actually, you know, through performance. But I think summer is going to be a pretty damn good time to go into it. I think like a lot of what we were able to take away from the last few weeks were super valuable. And also, like as a small segue, what we were able to see from both these teams, specifically TSM, incredibly valuable. I think what we were able to see from how they're like team fighting, mid game, being able to at least craft out an identity towards Evolved and Lost is something that they should feel confident about. I want to see a little bit more of the individuals from like 100 Thieves playing up today. Like they are a really chaotic team from my point of view, from like how they play out like past laning phase. A lot of the times the reason for that is because Fake God, Saligo, they see angles and like kill angles, then they call their teams to kind of just follow up. So we're gonna, I think, see a lot more skirmishes from their side.
Yeah, I mean, what you described there is the in-the-moment plays, right? It's like, hey, actually, I see this angle. How fast can you get here? Instead of like, we warded, he'll be coming back up. Let's take it. So I love seeing that chaos play. It kind of thrives when the map is a lot of fog of war. So we'll see if they can keep the map dark on the side of 100 Thieves and make sure TSM's vision is really, really just down.
Taking a look at this,
looks like he's going to be safe. Yeah, what are they doing?
So taking a look at the map, I mean, TSM can late invade bot side. They have a much stronger 3 with Kalista and Taric. So 100 Thieves recognize that. But the problem is the moment it hits 128, you do have to like head towards your jungle. So here they come.
Oh, slowly coming around. Oh, they blast going over the wall. Treats the Speaker. It looks like they kind of just high-five to start things off. Nobody's for sure ready. Who else was going to show up? A lot of damage to Treats. He's going to have to back out of this fight as the flag goes down. Assist all the members of TSM that were able to fight. So definitely expecting a kill there, but TSM still feels like going for this is going to give them the upper hand.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird that Kalista didn't follow up with the Blast Cone, but at the end of the day, like they just have a far stronger 3. So like, 100 Thieves should just concede the blue buff here, but look at this.
We're getting it, Raz. It's going to be Breezy down to 210 HP. He keeps himself safe as he does the battle dance out of the fight. Speak is now in a real sore spot. The team is just standing in front of him, trying to be a body meat wall, so to speak. As Speaker gets a flag and drag out, finally hits level 2 there as he gets out with the blue buff, and that actually saves his life. Smart plays, quick fingers, and TSM gets out with a chaotic early game.
I love the fact that first game in playoffs starts with a 50-50. It shouldn't have been. Like, it should have been much cleaner from TSM's side, but Kalista didn't make it over the wall to begin with. The first Taric stun misses, but at the end of the day, they got it. Now they're going for the kill.
Oh, Prismal, just a few more shots under the turret. It's not going to be able to do it. He don't think he had the return rend, or maybe he did, and it just wasn't enough damage. I didn't see if he was able to execute something on it. But seeing this, I mean, as soon as Core JJ and Tactical did this on TL in the bot lane, we see a lot of teams trying to set up that Taric, Kalista, Bushwhack. It's so strong in the early game.
And it feels bad if you're Prismal losing both of your sums and then now losing the full wave. Doesn't have teleport. So the fact that, you know, starting the lane off this poorly is going to really bite them.
Almost a plate already. Sub 4 here on the bot side of the map. Lost is going to pick that up with Treats, and we expected this for Dokla. Pushed up just about to that 75% mark to his turret. Fake God's happy to have a full lane to run away and fight with. But Dokla's going to say, I hope I can keep this here and just farm. I don't want to get dove. We'll see Contract's idea, or what ideas he has in mind. Your top side of his map still has Raptors, but he may try to find Dokla.
Yeah, I mean, at least Dokla is trading well topside. So he won't even be at the HP level that'll make a top lane dive possible. So Dokla should be safe topside, while now TSM can play towards the bottom side of the map with an item advantage for Lost. I want to see what that turns into, because Evolve should have prio mid early, so that can turn into a bot lane dive. Or, I mean, if they want to play it safe, can get an early bot side Drake right at the 5 or 6 minute mark. So I thought this game was going to be even early, not even close.
We'll see how much it keeps going. 100 Thieves getting on the vision already. Back immediately. Get a few more of those pink wards around. It looks like they're only even now on what vision can be set towards the map. TSM also getting pink wards on their back, and I think they know that first blood's really going to open this one up for either side. Looking at the bot side, still those summoners coming up for Prismal, so they probably aren't looking to do anything too hectic at the moment. 15 seconds until that ocean.
Yeah, so for people who are wondering what the early vision is for there for 100 Thieves, it makes it so much easier for them to see if J4 is coming to that bottom side of the map, or even if he's going to be starting on Dragon early. It's good information because it gives Contracts a good timing, a good window to look for a play on this top side. He was trying to see if he can get some experience in the top side, blue side jungle, but J4 had already cleared that out. So it's now started to slow down. It's good for Prismal. They had an idea that Spica was towards that side of the lane, and now they can at least start to farm up a little bit.
Very good. And a choice of wards for 100 Thieves there. Are you expecting Spica to basically be coming off of second Raptors or just towards that top side of bottom?
Maybe mid lane, because I haven't seen how the wave has been panning out. It should be, from this side, the way I think Soligo's been playing this one out, pushing towards Evolve, so he can look for an easy gank there. If that doesn't pan out, then he could help out Dokla a little bit, because you can see from the top lane trade, it is starting to get dicey. Spica shouldn't over-index in a bot lane dive and be throwing Dokla into the wolves. I think that's a bad strategy, especially with bot lane doing this well so far.
A good point. As soon as Spica really shows somewhere, could create a big advantage for 100 Thieves. A little back and forth here on the bot side of the map. Oh,
sees him.
Cat and mouse as well inside the jungle. Little flag and drag miss, cocoon attack, and Spica not really taking too much damage here, and it looks like Contracts wants to turn away from this one. A blast cone over the wall. Steadfast presence could help to keep Fake God out of this fight, but now Dokla's up the river without a paddle as he is forced to flash. Quick placement from Evolved allows him to get some aggression onto 100 Thieves, and this one looks like it's just going to, again, pan out. Nobody dies, and a lot of these happening this fight. Already at the blue buff, and now again at the top of the map.
But that was really good from Spica at the very beginning of it, because the ward catching out Elise looking for the top side means that he read the top side dive well. And then, of course, if he hit his knockup, then much easier trade for him on Contracts. Could have even turned into a kill. But that was a red smite advantage and a red buff advantage. So Elise just had to be pushed away. Now think of it from the perspective of Elise. What is she going to do? She couldn't get the top lane dive when she wanted to. She would go towards bot side. They lose the 3v3. Mid lane seems to be another option, but she's going back for the top lane fight.
It's good that that Steadfast presence is down. Fake God doesn't pull Dokla out too much. He's playing this really safe. Knows a cannon wave is coming in. He doesn't really have to pressure too much.
Remember this.
Has time to go back and possibly walk it up.
In the early,
pays off again. In
the early skirmish, Fake God had used his ultimate and couldn't get anything off of it. Dokla has his, so he's still safe in the top side. So he's going to piece, come back with a TP with an item as well, so that's fine by him. He's also going to be at full HP, so he can take the full wave. But even if you were to get dived there, easy to use his W. I think that's a Steadfast Presence to stop Renekton from basically dashing into him and starting off the dive. But also, like, that's just going to be an easy double kill for Dokla. So he's playing it well at this stage of the game.
Raz, I think it's a perfect point because we see Treats now moving up a ping from the base on the side of TSM. Hit Rift Herald, and why not fight against a Renekton who may not have ult? It's coming up pretty fast, though, so they may not expect that one as they go into this fight. He's going to be able to walk back to lane, and they could get quite more of a 4v4 here up top.
This is a little weird.
Like Treats, I should say, is going to head back towards bottom. A lot of that idea just got split up, and now Spica could be in a bad spot.
This is pretty weird from TSM because you're going to see he's now surrounded.
A lot of damage here. Over to the turret. He's almost going to get knocked up. That's a hot and aggroed turret, and it's going to shoot him twice. Another auto attack coming through, but the W coming in. Oh. The soldier poke. Oh, somebody's going to flash forward and grab it. We were just waiting for it to happen. The instant double flash from Soligo and Breezy. And Breezy comes up with that kill.
TSM had called the audible that they didn't need to go for a Rift Herald there because Treats roamed up. They could have just started hitting it. Well, first of all, they should have hit it a little earlier, but because, you know, maybe they didn't think that it was a good timing for the support, but Soligo, all right.
Evolved getting pretty hypey there. Flashes forward thinking he had the damage as Soligo keeps himself alive with that heal. But summoners are down on that side, so they go with a teleport for Evolve.
Yeah, it's weird overall. I think TSM could have just started a Rift Herald. Now it's given a window for 100 Thieves to start contesting it. We'll see if they move, because they should know that J4 is here for it.
Contract's trying to get back to a bit of this jungle and clean it up, as all of his attempts top lane have been found out by Spica. A bit thwarted so far, but he's not too worse for the wear as a battle dance goes in. Treats gets Fate called out. Are they going to go back into this one? It looks like it will be a hold. Lovers Duo comes up pretty big on that engage.
Yeah, not to use the ultimate here from Treats, but at least they have, or at least from Lost, but at least they have a good wave to punish Prismal and Breezy off of. Oh, wow. This is getting really dicey here for Dokla in the top lane, but at least for Dokla, there's no Elise up in the top lane. He doesn't have that information, though. Hasn't seen Elise for some time. So Fake God is going to start getting some free turret plates here.
One picked up. Demolish is going to smash another one quickly, putting another plate in his pocket. So this is not the first time Dokla's been pushed off the wave. We're seeing 97 to 64 in CS in that lane. Now another slight engage towards the bot side of the map. This dragon has actually been left alone for being an ocean. Just a lot more focus on trying to get kills and really take these summoner spells out of each other before these fights happen.
Yeah, and that's been the big problem here for TSM, for Dokla more often, because picking the Poppy, he's probably expected the game to be far more accelerated by the time that it hit 10 minutes. But no early dragon, the Rift Herald was botched by TSM, and all the while, Lost and Treats has been winning trades pretty heavily. Evolve almost got a kill on Soligo, but they didn't get much off of that at all. So this is a pretty good situation, but it's turning into a skirmish bot lane.
Back and forth. Quick Feather Storm for a Dazzle. Take that trade on the side of 100 Thieves. Or I'm sorry, on the side of TSM. And we'll see where they can go from here. Swifty's already picked up by Treat, so he can make sure he's back in lane or to a different one. We saw him use that a bit as he went towards the Rift Herald to start things off. We're really waiting for this one to open up. We haven't seen Evolve be able to take Soligo out of the game because he has heal. Here now, Evolve gets a bit of attention himself. And the Lost Chapter is just keeping him topped off in resource and lane before he gets that blue buff. They're really, it's like they've tempted each other and are okay with the fights fizzling out, not coming up with a kill because they just haven't been able to kind of activate their one window to open, I should say.
Yeah, and it's just because there's a lot of respect from both sides. But oh no!
That was a quick shuffle, and he pulled the carpet right out from under Soligo, actually, as he tried to do it. This could be the second kill of the game. Soligo's very low, and he goes down as Cosmic Radiance reigns over TSM, keeping them protected, and now it is 1-1 after such a lull in the action.
All right, that was tragic. Pan the camera over to the dragon. I don't want to see that dead Azir body. Holy. Like, that actually would have been good, too. Like, Evolve didn't have flash. Like, he should have been dead in that situation. But because the ultimate from Azir missed, and then the cocoon to follow it, yeah, that was right for TSM to take the pick.
Breezy being cheeky as he gets himself to safety, and we do pan over the dragon. The ocean sustains TSM a little bit more, and we will get a cloud next. So Infernal or Mountain is going to change our rift here in our first game of the quarterfinal playoff match. 100 Thieves and TSM. And funny in this game, the safe bot lane, Breezy got that first blood as they were doing a little bit of roaming, and our second blood comes sometime later after they finally tempted each other in a fight again. But 100 Thieves, after an initial start where TSM approached this 3 minutes ago, 100 Thieves is going to be the one to get the first Rift Herald.
Yeah, they got an early push on mid lane, and they also knew that J4 had backed bottom lane. They thought they were more, like, they would be able to get this quickly. It was a bit of a risk. Spica understood that and had rotated top, and it just stopped them. So remember, it's not even just the fact that it's the 3v3. 100 Thieves is confident in the 3v3. It's the bottom lane that rotated from TSM early that stopped 100 Thieves from finishing the Rift Herald.
See where they can go. Spica retreating off of this one. And it looks like he'll be able to hand this blue buff over to Evolved. Has one himself. Was able to get Soligo's transfer there on that first kill, which feels pretty good. And now Soligo going to be a little tough for him to keep up now with clearing the waves. 100 Thieves still going back to the Rift Herald. They have vision control, and they have the Shrine to work with.
All right, so they finally now that they have information that Lost and Treats is down there, they can just take this one. Spica's really just going to be seeing if he can get a steal on it. Nothing that he can do. But as the game, you know, as slow as it is, respectful as it is, I think that TSM has a pretty good team fight comp rolling. I think in terms of scaling is always a tough...
So this benefits them more?
If it goes slow, then I would say yes. I would say the scaling conversation for this game is really tough because Renekton should always have Dokla under a tower if he ever rotates. So they're just looking for a numbers advantage. But take a look at this. Oh no.
Cosmic Radiance isn't up just yet. Breezy goes in a little too hard, and they don't even need to get involved in this one as they lose the bot side of 100 Thieves. Prismal's going to have to back off. And this is going to be your first turret of the game for TSM, who's going to be able to open up the map a little bit.
Yeah, it was a slow burn, but they ended up getting it. For Sums were there from Lost, both Flash and Heal from Treats. It was Evolved and Speaker who were going to be there first if anything had went wrong. So that was just a really, you know, bad situation for Prismal and Breezy to put themselves in.
Still yet to see these two pop off here in the mid lane. Evolved getting that first kill for himself, as we just saw that engage happen onto Saligo a bit ago. Now we'll start to get the supports rotating out a little bit more. Protection for the mids, protection as they roam around with the junglers. And we'll see if that creates more opportunity. Elise and Rakan can get real deadly and make you want to pull your hair out fast if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And they're going to try to set up the wards to make that happen here on the side of 100.
That's why it's good that TSM is playing respectfully. When they were contesting for Vision, it was never just J4 alone. It was Treats that was rotating up that was a part of the play as well. If it was going to be a pick coming in from Elise, then it was going to be a larger 4v3 or 4v4 skirmish rather than just some member getting caught off guard. I think TSM has understood what their game plan is going to be in game 1 of this best of 5, and they're playing to it really well. Even take a look at Dokla. The moment like he has vision here, thankfully. He sees contracts coming up, and he just pieces away. It's nice to see.
Really nice little wall of security there to keep himself alive. Kind of just stat checking everybody right now. Bramble and Dabami Sin.
Oh no, leave him alone.
Again, a fight top. Prismal. Breezy's been the man to go down for him. But Prismal's going to be able to keep both of them alive this time. Or I should say Breezy as they get out of that one. The barrier did go down there for Prismal, so they keep getting tested. They keep having to use resources on ground they definitely aren't gaining. 17 minutes here coming up on the clock, and it looks like that turret trade may happen. Breezy finds himself alone. His Treats just on the other side. I don't think he's going to be able to make it there, but Spica, does he follow? Flashes through. Cataclysmic kill on Breezy. 20 seconds down for him. Featherstorm comes out. Evolve's going to try to dodge the feathers. Oh, he clips him with one as it comes across. Emperor's Divide backwards as Spica tries to bite off more than he can chew. Treats over the wall with a quick heal. Maybe the Cosmic Radiance up now, but he's going to hold it for the time being, knowing they can keep him alive. And the verdict has been laid down on Saligo as Dokla finds himself a kill.
TSM's claiming up. Like, this is getting real tragic for 100 Thieves. At least they were able to get that kill onto Evolve, but throughout, it's been a Prismal and Breezy getting punished up top side. And even if it just had ended with that, you know, that's already a 40 CS deficit from Prismal, and he had to go back to base. And it's now getting larger. The resulting skirmish just meant they got 2 turrets off of that one, so TSM is thriving.
In a pressure rush here for Dragon Vision contracts. Remember, they still have Cosmic Radiance to go into this fight with. He may end up casting it right away. There it is. 100 Thieves starts to turn tail on this one as Breezy gets himself out, but not safely. There's the follow-up flash and the hit from Treats as he's even getting into the fight. Hands in the pie from everybody here as there's going to be a knocked-up airborne. Prismal just came back, and he just goes down as he gets out of the base. And now it's going to be the rest of the team trying to hold off a Rift Herald in mid.
Oh my. Remember what I said. If you ever have to use Renekton to flank in a bad situation, I mean, it's already bad. For 100 Thieves, ideally, from the beginning of the game, they needed to keep Dokla under turret and have first push on Renekton to have an uneven number fight. Like, that was their win condition to make it so they can take team fights with Azir damage, with the Xayah damage coming through, and it's not even getting to that point. They're getting swept just from the laning phase alone.
Wow, really turning up the heat here. TSM has that 3K gold lead. It starts to get cut a bit as Fake God works top. Now they can find Evolved in mid. They can get across the map to make this happen. He fires back the Unleashed power onto Saligo. Almost keeps himself alive here. The blue buff allows him to dance it out. The team not coming for him enough help. And it looks like he will finally go down, but what a fight coming in from Evolved versus what was 4 at the end.
At least he got the trade, but you gotta calm down, Evolve. Like, that was nice, but the entire team was back at base. Like, there was no reason for him to be that far out, but at least, I guess, you know, they don't lose tempo off of it.
That's true. That gets scary, right? When the minion wave is in position for 100 Thieves to chase. All things considered, TSM gets out of that one pretty unscathed. Knight's Vow now on to Spica as he is delivering to Lost. What else do we have? Zeke's Convergence there. Look at that. That's a Broman. Both of them working on the synergy of the things they can activate for their marksmen. Lost playing well. Halo Blades Callista 101. And he is 60 CS ahead of his lane. But top lane, Fake God has that 60 CS lead too. We'll see which one can counter.
If you're TSM Academy here, you just want to slow the game down. You already have like great vision here in both sides of the map. You have 2 dragons early, and you can just play towards the 4 dragon win condition. Mountain Dragon, especially with Poppy and J4 and Tarek, there's not much you can do here if you're 100 Thieves. So 100 Thieves going to be
Heard
pressured.
you like shields on your shields.
Exactly.
Contracts is still going to look to set up a few of these vision plays from the side. Cocoon can definitely make or break a situation. Nothing's going to happen off that as I actually see TSM backing. A little bit of time here for 100 Thieves to work their vision on the map. In the beginning, I said 100 Thieves would really be able to use the Fog of War so well with this ability to attack from afar. And we just saw TSM basically Spica hiding in the jungle, killing Breezy at red buff as they had to flash over the wall to chase the fight. Then the resulting fights after that were all just a flood of TSM coming out of the woodwork. Let's see if they can get back onto the map now. And here it is. There's a bit of Fog of War play for 100 Thieves. Keeper's Verdict comes out. And the repel, will it be enough? It's only going to be 1 airborne, but they still get the kill onto Dokla. TSM wants to kind of rebuttal on this fight, though. A lot of damage onto Breezy as they want to take the Initiation out of the fight. Initiation, I should say. Breezy goes down. There it is. The Cataclysm keeps in Prismal as he cannot get out of this with his Feather Storm. He's still stuck in. He goes down. Treat's picking up a bunch of kills as he's laying down the hammer. It looks like the weapon of choice here for the side of TSM coming into the first game of the playoffs. Evolve's coming up with a kill onto Fake God. He makes him bleed, and another repel for Contracts, but they got the broom out and they swipe him away as the Contracts gets killed by Evolved as well.
Even with Dokla getting poked, like completely popped out before the fight even started, this game is so far snowballed for TSM that it was just an easy fight. With at the very end, Lost just face checking and like face first into the Renekton. He has both suns. He's completely fine with any damage that comes his way. So should be an easy Baron here for TSM.
And everybody participating in this one. We just see how much fight prowess TSM has once they get together. They're kind of always in each other's back pocket just when you don't expect another one to be there. It's Dokla flying in with a Keeper's Verdict to separate the fight or something else. 100 Thieves still coming up with a few. Contracts getting bigger. Prismal's able to find some kills along with Breezy's that first blood, but really need Fake God to be able to get big in these fights. He's going for the killer Renekton here, so he's not going to be the tankiest involved as they start getting into these brawls.
Now they're looking to retake bot side vision. This is what I wanted to see from TSM beforehand, before the fight started. I think they were doing the right things by pushing out mid lane and then starting to clear out. It was really just Dokla that was kind of rushing the steps. Getting caught out from the beginning. He probably just thought the team was close enough so they can just collapse when it happened. Now, easy. Doesn't matter. Roll up as a squad. You already have Dokla on the bot side. Look at how close the wave is to the inner turret as well. They can either just pummel this into the inhibitor turret or just meet Dokla bot side and take the inner turret for free.
All right, so let's see what they can do with this Red Bull Baron power play. They still have a full 2 minutes left on it, and they're hitting the inhibitor turrets down. 100 Thieves doesn't even want to tempt here. They'd rather TSM be in the base a little bit more and out of position, but they got a lot of position to work with. You're coming up from the bot side, a second tier turret as your base is getting destroyed is a very risky thing to guard, and Fake God looks like he will start to give that one up ever so slightly.
Yeah, it's 100 Thieves drawing the line and saying, we'll give up the first inhibitor, we can't do much about that. But not the second inhibitor. So like getting the top lane inner turret for Azir and then having a meet, so if they were ever to fight for this, this is what they have to fight for. So 100 Thieves know that they're playing from behind, and they're just trying for anything. They just have to pray for a mistake from TSM.
This will put them on soul point. And I don't know if there will be much contest for that as it comes up. We'll have to see. We have a little bit of time to work with, and many things can happen within that 6 minutes.
Yeah, like just taking a
5 minutes.
like taking a step back and thinking about how the game has gotten to this point. I think 100 Thieves should kind of look back at how the level 1 and the bot lane skirmishes really screwed them over, because individual player really put them behind in the bot side. When they knew that Kalista and Tarek is incredibly strong at skirmishing, they still took those fights and had to base because of it. It put Prismal so far behind, and then it was easy for Spica to just say, okay, if my lane's getting this far of an advantage, I'll play to it.
Flash forward there, kind of scaring him off. So in that play, it almost as TSM knows that even if you don't get a kill, the amount of kind of chaos we cause here and disruption still benefits us.
Yeah, any chaos
for that first level play.
The problem for 100 Thieves is legitimately they just couldn't take any of the early skirmishes. They just had to take the fight, unless if Elise got the early gank up top side and is there for the bot lane 3v3. But here we go. Looks like this is going to be the fight. There's already a flank coming in, but they don't see him yet.
Oh, they might have just caught him there. There was a ping going to the back, question mark, as the super minions were crashing into the base. That was putting all their cards on the table if 100 Thieves were going to dive in for that one in this first game of the best of 5. And TSM coming out very, very dominant on this one. Pretty much simple bans all around, nothing weird. TSM was able to create quite a composition with what they had. I thought it could have been the Tarek Zac, as we've seen that before. Breezy trying his hand, the quickness down the backside of the fight. This is the first time the 100 Thieves has really had them all cordoned off. And can they get the damage that will take TSM down? Contract's about to fall now as a double kill goes in for Evolved. And now it's Aligo who may just fall. Stopwatches left and right for TSM as they're still able to pull tricks out of their sleeve. And that's the second inhibitor, Raz. It looks like it's going to be the next.
That was a good chance for Breezy. He knew that the sum, or at least like the sums and ultimate from Treats were down, that they could find their best fight there. Just too little too late. TSM's going to clean this one up and take the first game of the series.
Does look like they're going to push themselves up in that 1-0 position here in our best of 5s. Now 100 Thieves a little warmed up themselves after this game. Know how hot TSM is feeling and how confident they are. So maybe a little bit more of an engaged comp, maybe a poke comp, who knows? I'm excited. You get everything in these ones. TSM takes that Nexus down 27 minutes in. A super fast game 1 coming out of the Academy team. They came in hungry.
It's very easy for 100 Thieves to take a look at this game and overcomplicate it, in my opinion, because so much happened. Like, there were so many mistakes, but for me, it really stemmed from the early skirmish level 1 that put Prismal behind and forced him to base, and he was at a huge experience disadvantage. Think of it from the perspective of TSM. They could do literally anything from that point. It gave J4 the freedom to look top lane to counteract the Elise dive, and he was successful in that. So it gave them that.
I think that's a super good point, right? Because in the beginning you said Dokla can do this by himself. But if we know we have the lead and we can prevent that from even happening, I think that's actually a great point. TSM was really able to look through what 100 Thieves wanted to do. So coming up with that first win, we are going to be stepping away. When we return, we will see if 100 Thieves can bite back when we return for Game 2. Welcome back for 100 Thieves Academy versus TSM Academy. We're here in the 2020 Spring Academy playoffs. No, you're not missing it. It's happening live right now and tomorrow. And LCS is going to be following with more awesome. There's so much League of Legends action coming to you. And we're so happy you can hang out with us and that we can provide you that action. I'm Riv. That's Rez.
What's up?
Hey, Rez. What's up? We're going to be going into game 2 now. A 27-minute win, the first go around for TSM, who came out hot. Came out like they know what they wanted to do, and they had 100 Thieves number.
They followed the game plan, Riv, and that hurt for 100 Thieves. It felt like 100 Thieves couldn't even get to step 1 for their draft, while 100 Thieves were able to, for TSM, not only were they able to dominate early lanes, but then were able to adapt and try to counteract the 100 Thieves top lane play through all the chaos, because there was a lot of it. I was worried because I think the major point for this game, and like a telling point for what 100 Thieves, TSM is going to do for the rest of the series, they're just going to leave Dokla on an island. They're going to keep playing bot side whenever they can. And what Dokla showed for me was that he was playing really well and respectively, going up against Renekton and Elise. And I don't think, like at least with the way that he was performing, that he will allow there to be a dive and for him to just be killed for nothing. I think he's super smart in those circumstances in the laning phase. Even like calling back when Golden Guardians faced them, when we tried to play towards topside and get an advantage there, he was just a phantom. He was gone the moment the huge wave crashed. He was either coming up top lane full HP and ready to counteract it, or with a friend. So I wonder if 100 Thieves go into the next game and still want to play to that strategy, knowing that if you all in and over-index into playing towards topside, that not only is TSM ready to counteract it, that's what they were that they will thrive with.
Yeah, TSM came in strong, knowing what 100 Thieves have thrived with to go off that point. Banning the Ornn, banning the Silas, the Saligo for Silas for Saligo had been huge in recent weeks. 5-1 and 10 versus FlyQuest. The Ornn in that game for Fake God 2-0-12. Those quickly banned out, and it just seemed like they were putting together a composition that only had a few windows to work with. In the level 1 fight from TSM, 3 members going out of the blue buff, and they even didn't have Lost to start that off because he didn't take the blast cone. Still caused so much chaos. 400 Thieves. Do you think you get a second thing like that? You think 100 Thieves feels good and says, if we can just start throwing a wrench in the works right away, then we can always work step ahead of 100.
That's the worrying part, is that with how well TSM had performed in this game, they had made so many mechanical errors that would have just made it even faster game. So TSM will come out of the first game and say, okay, if we get the same draft, we'll play in it. Because we know that we will play better and make this better decisions around the Rift Herald when Speaker got caught. So I think 100 Thieves are in a pretty bad spot. They need to make some adjustments.
We are back in to the P&B. It is going to be Yuumi first. Yuumi actually came out last for 100 Thieves on red side, and you had some concerns about that. So first on blue.
Yuumi is a better ban on blue side. It is the more stable blue side ban.
There you go.
Because you don't want to blind pick a Tahm Kench or Braum or really anything into a red side where Yuumi can just be a 3-pick. So it makes sense here. And there we go. Get that Kalista out of here. Second ban from 100 Thieves.
Get it out. It will not be used because that takes apart the Taric. It's a big puzzle piece right there. We'll see if TSM has an equal ban. Is it just as cool? Yeah, Aphelios is a good ban.
So there are, I would say, 4 to 5 picks depending on teams that are just power picks, right? Ornn, Zed, Aphelios, Kalista, and Senna. Senna and Tahm Kench are still available. TSM has to ban Senna on 3-ban. Or 100 Thieves will just eat it up. They'll do it. And they'll know that TSM won't pick the Tahm Kench, or they won't be inclined to do so. So, okay, why 100 Thieves? I'm mad. Just pick the Senna Tahm Kench. They're giving it to you. All right.
Maybe they don't feel comfortable. I'm going to look at Breezy here for a moment. Rakan, Nautilus, Braum, Nautilus.
Everyone plays Tahm Kench. It's the...
He has one Tahm Kench play in week 1 against you.
Look, everyone plays
You made him
Kench.
not play it, bro.
I'll take it.
That's it?
I'll take it. But everyone plays it. You don't want to play it. It's like a top lane Ornn or Maokai.
Okay.
You may not want to do it, but the coach is going to tell you to play it.
Sets locked in there. So they do finally get their flex. 100 Thieves has a bit of room to wiggle now. And they say, we take that Renekton and we'll still have the Syndra. And there's your Senna.
Well, I don't think Senna's very good at the moment. I think if you don't have the Tahm Kench, like if you literally kneecap yourself by banning Tahm Kench, then Senna, you'd have to be confident with an... Oh, actually, Senna Set is a possibility. Remember, Set can go anywhere. So maybe that's their answer. But that's where you now challenge a team's creativity. And I wonder if they had practiced this, if they put in a lot of scrims. Because after the first game, most teams would want to play something they're most confident with so they don't run into an insta 0-2 in a series. So it's going to be a good challenge to Prismal and Breezy again.
There's that Azir running it back.
Wow.
He wants it. He wants it. He wants redemption on that first shuffle. Jarvan getting locked in on the side. Speak is feeling good on the all-in. The team's been following him. They're working well behind each other. It's a great pickup that the team is working behind. Now we're in the second phase of bans. What do we got?
So there's a J4 coming in from TSM. That's a little surprising for me. It showcases what they're comfortable playing. I would have gone Sejuani because you already have a Renekton up top side, so you can play Sejuani Renekton and just lock down the set pretty easily. But J4 makes it easy on red side to gank bottom lane. This is a little secret for everybody. J4 top side, takes red, loops around towards the bottom lane tri-bush. Easiest gank of your life. Level 2, not much you can do about it. I think 100 Thieves should be ready for it. And don't want to find themselves on a bad end of the... Especially how first game, you know, started off.
Okay. Okay. Gangplank Sejuani taken out with Varus off the board. What do you got next?
All right. Yeah, it's good to ban ADs. They already banned Kalista as well, so you can ban Xayah. You can just take Xayah, away from Xayah Rakan. I think Treats is a great Rakan player too, so it'd be a good takeaway.
Is he real?
All right. It is safe. So I think if they're just taking away a safe pick like Ezreal, then they just want to try and find a way to kill bot lane. That's my gut feeling. Otherwise, I wouldn't understand it all too well. We'll see. Yeah. So you're just giving them a Xayah Rakan. Remember, if you take... actually, I'm trying to figure this one out. Yeah, you don't want Senna Xayah whatsoever. So it's safe to pick the Rakan first when your picks are separated on 4-5 red side. So this is smart from TSM.
And I'm looking back through a lost play. And everybody always say everybody plays the champion. He hasn't even played Ezreal this spring split. Gets him banned against him. Might have been showing some saucy stuff in the scrims. Prismal's going to lock in the Trundle with the Sejuani ban. Easy peasy there. Now they have quite a bit of tank on the Rift that hopefully can start stealing from somebody. We'll see how the builds of TSM go. Final pick here from 100 Thieves. See what they do. We'll figure out where this set's going.
Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, lock it in for contracts. Hey. All right. We got ourselves a Graves pick here. Now, it's going for contracts. I was about to entertain the idea of it going top lane.
Yeah.
We've been seeing a little bit more Graves solo lane.
We're back at Worlds, baby.
But contracts loves his Graves. You give it to him.
We'll see if we can put 100 or TSM at the end of the line on this one. It is going to have to be an even up in this best of 5 as TSM is already ahead with 27-minute humdinger of a match. They came out with a win, and it looks like they're going to have a similar composition. That Syndra, that Jarvan, bot lane with the ability to engage. Now, it was Eteric and Kalista last time. We see that Kalista ban, and we see how it's forming now.
What we were talking about, Riv? That flex on set? If you give a team set on blue side, it's going anywhere. And I was wondering what would Senna be paired with now that, you know, the Tahm Kench was banned. And they were like, hey, you know what? Set Senna bottom lane. That sounds incredibly strong and annoying for Lost and Treats to play against. So 100 Thieves going into this game with a strong bottom lane, conceptually a strong top lane for Graves as well. Going into this one, I like the draft from 100 Thieves a lot more.
It does look awesome. It seems like they want to put their mark on this playoff spot right now. Quarterfinals, our second match is going to be going live in just a few. We are going to take a quick 5-minute break here after Champion Select to preserve the competitive integrity. As always, we hope you're well. We hope you stay with us, and we'll be right back for the match. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2020 Spring Academy playoffs. We're in the quarterfinals right now. Game 2 of 100 Thieves Academy versus TSM Academy. Riv and Raz, I love saying that every time,
Hey.
are here to deliver you some delectable gameplay as it goes live. We have just taken our 5-minute break to preserve competitive integrity and allow me to get tongue twisted.
I hear you, man. It's actually, look, after game 1, I understand. Because 100 Thieves got tongue twisted as well. They got slammed.
It's true.
They want a little bit of redemption.
We'll see if they get it. As Pastry said online, the Spice Cabinet has been open for Game 2. That is 100 Thieves Spice Cabinet. Just look at the squad if you're just tuning in with us now. We got Fake God on Graves in the top, which you thought might have been contracts, but then they had the Trundle and a set first pick. This is a thing of beauty. Let's see if they can execute.
It's great. Honestly, being able to finally see the Graves solo lane come out, I'll love it from Fake God. You have a lot of sustain in the pick. Also, you just remember True Grip passive. We haven't seen Graves in so long. You forget the fact that he acts like a tank.
They got 2 Grit passives on this team.
Oh, that's true.
Grit everywhere.
Got Grit brothers.
Yep.
So like
the grit
team fights should be pretty damn good from 100 Thieves side. Just remember that they're pretty low in overall CC. Engage is going to be pretty scarce, so that means that they can't fall behind early. If they do, they'll never have setup on objectives. They'll never be able to get Trundle or set to a position in which they're not getting chunked before the fight even begins, right? So that's why it's important from 100 Thieves to be a lot more, I would say, aware of how the early games have been going in game 1.
Very true. Let's see if Fake God can be real God on this Graves. We talked about that a little bit before. 100 Thieves.
Oh no, take a look at the
now trying to give TSM
Treats coming in.
a little bit of their own medicine. But yeah, what is Treats? The bot lane up in the top jungle at 1.5 minutes in. I think Fake God just saw him, so they're able to make a bit of a call here. But on contracts, as he gets himself in a situation like TSM was trying to create in game 1, it does not work out how it did for TSM. And I should say it does work out for him now.
That was beautiful, man. Like, the only thing you have to be scared of when you're going in for a 2-man late invade top lane is the support lazing about, and they did it. They were aware of Fake God and contracts wanting to go in for the play, and they sent Treats. The risk is you just lose level 2 bottom lane. Like, you just will concede the early game for Prismal and Breezy, and they were willing to do that to get that juicy lead up top side.
Oh, now Dokla, he's like, I got to play Poppy last game. Now I can control my lane on Renekton with a kill.
What?
The fight towards the bot side here is Lost delivering in the damage, and a haymaker swiping across Treats' face there brings him down to about 200 HP as the Ignite as well goes across from Breezy.
He's got to calm down, man. Maybe he's still running on that adrenaline of the level 1. He just instantly has to burn Flash because he goes into a set who, of course, has his E level 1. This is a possibility for a dive, though.
Oh, my word. All right, so level 2, contracts immediately getting that red buff. You kind of talked about the gank right after taking red. Will they be able to get this down now? Breezy falls. They're going to be able to get contracts off the turret. That goes over to Dokley. He picks up a second kill and possibly another one. Now Prismal's going to back right out of this. Lost stays alive. The minion actually just hit him there, and he's down below 10 HP, keeping himself up. He's got to be careful for a Prismal shot.
I'm in
here.
pain, dog. No!
Oh!
No! Now he lost his flash. This is Tilt. Tilt Nation. 100 Thieves wants to get out of this game.
You know you'd go for that, though, Braz.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
There is 0 luck in the pockets 100. Like, 100 Thieves Academy has literally never had fate go in their direction. That bot lane dive was real sad. And I know people will be like replaying it just to take a look at it. But I was wondering if Breezy would set up the engage with trying to get a headbutt on, like, just like starting his E off both Lost and Treats. They were next to each other. Like, you could have gotten that stun to begin with. Would have made it a lot easier. And then he just took, of course, way too many turret shots. Actually,
Dokla.
Just rough to watch.
And they have eyes on contracts. It's going to be top lane here. Ninja Tabby's coming in for Dokla, as he already knows he has enough damage just leveling up on Fake God here. And once he gets Dominus, he can go all in on the fights.
I cannot be
21 to 25.
explain how doomed this game is. because they don't, like, at least they can try for this and know that Flash is down from Treats.
God, you're just seeing him 2v1. Knows Haymaker can come out as his grip builds up. Breezy does take himself quite low, which gets an option for Spica here, as they are now around the turret, and TSM can capitalize a little bit more. Contract's not going to be able to get over the wall in time. Oh, they find him on the ward. Very nice pillar to stop Evolve from participating in that, as Contracts, however, still forced out of his jungler, or at least still given trouble in his jungle over and over, as we see. Tiny Krugs are the only thing standing on by.
FakeGod has TP, but he doesn't want to be a part of this play. He has a huge wave coming into him. If he TPs for this play, then his lane is so gone. So thankfully, this is all... Oh, wait a second.
Oh, Prismal very close to be going down. Can't get the heal back off as it's on cooldown, and now Contracts is in a bad spot between two members of TSM. Breezy and Treats going back and forth, I should say, in the support wars, but that's a set punching away. And 5-1 here. One thing we haven't really paid attention to is Soligo. He's been farming away in mid lane and becoming a very, very big point for 100 Thieves to be able to find power from later, if he can come up.
That's true. At least 100 Thieves has that going for them, because he recognizes he would be way too slow for the play on bot side. It's better for him to force Syndra to come back into this. This is a lot from TSM trying to get the turret plating. They finally get it, though.
Just in the face of their opponents about everything that they're doing right now, and they don't worry about what 100 Thieves can rebuttal with. Contracts warding up. Looks like they're actually going to get themselves some early game stats here. I like this play. A lot just happened from TSM, so they do need to take a breather. And Contracts is always one to not be afraid to keep trying.
Yeah, I think going for the turret plating was a bit too greedy, just because you would be so far in tempo. If you don't get punished for it from just outright dying or losing summoners, then you still lose the early dragon. So TSM could have played a lot more of a cleaner game. Have confidence that your bot lane's already panning out pretty damn well. And Dokla is so far ahead at this stage that he'll be pushing and roaming at all times. So they didn't have to do it. They did do it at the end of the day, but oh no. Contracts. Oh!
Contracts.
Happy feet!
Oh, he's dancing around on this one. He's going to go down. Didn't want to bring Soligo into a fight on that one. He knew he wasn't getting out, just trying to keep dodging as much as he could. 6-1 now in favor at TSM as we come up on 7 minutes into the game. A 2,000 gold lead, and we can see FakeGod using a lot of resources, already down to half HP as he gets pushed around and backing as a wave is hitting his turret right now. Teleport's going to be up, so we'll see him using that to get back to lane.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good off of Soligo early, but remember off the skirmishes bot side, it was the Syndra that ended up stealing the blue from the from Contract.
Hello.
Oh no.
Never ending on this bot side. Prismal's up, Prismal's down, and they are making sure of it over and over. He goes down again in this game, and they are going to be able to lose Spica, I should say. Not that they want to be able to. Showstopper to the back line, but Treats does not take turret aggro, is what Breezy was hoping for there, so Contracts could capitalize on the damage. TSM continues to knock on that door of 100 Thieves, testing them at bot, testing them in the jungle, and seeing where they can get 100 Thieves caught out here. Once again, they turn Breezy up, try to shake out his money, and they thief the Thief, and they cannot. He gets out alive.
But they're just losing so much experience. It was Prismal that lost the entire wave then. Now Set trying to pick up the solo XP, and I guess he's going to try for it now. But with how gun happy TSM has been, what's saying they won't do it again? You think they'll stop with that?
Treats' KDAs throughout these games has been ridiculous. He's feeling himself. He's still diving in, and he can do even more of that on Rakan than he was on Taric. So I don't think it's stopping. Breezy's able to come up with a few kills, though. He may be able to turn a few of these fights around. There is a squishy back line he gets to jump into if he wants to take Dokla back there. But they have to be the ones to fight on their terms. I feel like if TSM continues this, any fight they decide is going to be the executive order.
This is just good from Spica recognizing that you don't have to throw all your eggs into his bot lane. Like, Dokla literally has 2 early kills top, and what is a really, like, it starts what I would imagine bad for Dokla, but the fact that he already got this, the coin is flipped in his favor. So while we're looking towards like a death stance build from FakeGod, now he's just going to always fear not only just Dokla, but a dive coming in from Spica.
Yeah. Blue transfer over to Soligo. as he still has a slight lead in mid lane, but those kills for Evolved on the roams that were able to happen with TSM just a few paces ahead, really paying off. Speaking with the Rift Herald, has that just on about 25% of its cooldown currently. And we're going to get Xayah back out of base. So Lost in Treats to capitalize back down on the bot side. Looking at how that CS is distributed, not going against Prismal, so it's not 56 to 12.
Yeah.
Gotta look at set CS. Breezy's at 61, so they're not doing too bad.
Yeah, they're farming well. And that's good to see, because last game they were just getting completely choked out of the early laning phase. But Breezy, who's the true carry of this lane, has been able to farm just fine and has actually been taking advantage of the no sums on Lost in Treats. But sums being back on board is bad for him. And so he has to be aware with zero vision there, defensive wards, that this is another play that they can go for. Evolved has perma shove through mid.
Contracts again called down towards that bot side of the map, and it's pretty dark as you just saw that vision toggle from the observers of what they can actually see. And it's not that Speak is in their jungle. It's not that Speak it could come from Tribrush. TSM needs to get a bit of a security system throughout their jungle here, or they could get really, really attacked. Contracts using a ward. He's going to see one. It's already cast on that. No, he does. No, I was going to say, did he pop it? But it's still that very fast cast time. So now for Rift Herald after the change, he's going to get that off. Going to go down to one plate, and they should be able to hold off on this fight. They brought Saligo down, and it looks like Dokla's actually kind of just backing off his lane here, not trying to go too hard, as he's just farming it out and keeping it safe. Yeah, Dokla's priorities are really in check this game.
It's been,
or these games.
Yeah, and I think take a look at Evolved here. He didn't have to fully commit, but they really want this turret, and they saw Azir on that wave, so they're going for it.
Oh, TP, he's not going to be able to stop him. Dokla's going to be now on the bot side of the map. Can he deliver that power? He's been building up. There's one kill over onto Breezy. Takes him down and also gets that shutdown from the 2 kills Breezy was able to get. So even more gold in the pocket of Dokla, and that's a turret going down now. First one in favor of TSM.
That's so many carries on that one. That Lost could tank the turret and juggle it and allow the kills to still be put down on a Breezy. So really tough. Even seeing the TP top side, so they don't even lose experience there as well. This is really well played from TSM. Much better than game 1. Even with how quick of a game 1, there were some mechanical misplays happening. This one, perfect.
And just to add on to that juggle for Lost, didn't have to use Featherstorm, so they can get back into a fight if they need to. Cataclysm is up. We do have quite a bit of time for our Drake or our Baron, so no real worries there. It looks like we're going to get a bit of a rotation now from Dokla as the lanes have been popped. We'll see how this favors TSM if they can start pushing their vision forward. They've been inside of 100 Thieves jungle just about every time you look. And a lot of the times it's Spica with Evolved coming down right after him in tow.
Remember what I said earlier on, that with 100 Thieves opting for this composition, not really having any forms of real engage. Being behind is awful. Contracts is going to pay a price for that now too.
Takes a few, throws down that domain so he can get a bit of movement speed and attack speed, but it's only going to be to get out of this fight. They have been all over him. A flash burn there, along with Subjugate just coming up, so he actually couldn't even use it in that fight. And it looks like everybody's just testing each other a bit to get out of their jungle at this point. TSM's forward wards are already placed. Breezy thinks he's got a safe path as the flag and drag comes through. Lost is trying to get around, but he gets locked down a bit. Still able to participate in the fight with that Featherstorm we talked about having, even after tanking the last fight. This one's going to continue. TSM seems to be rotating a little bit faster. Evolved has the inside track on Saligo, and this could be another fight coming around as he's hiding in the brush. Oh, they see each other as Prismo may go down now and towards the top side. That's actually going to be Prismal going down to Lost. And now the fight continues. The 3v4. Low members of TSM, but also 100 Thieves as they limp about. Saligo's going to be found out finally trying to get him a flash. A nice shuffle to safety there. Oh, he gets him with the collateral damage, and the end of the line is Fake God. Finds a kill there onto Lost. Finally, 100 Thieves starting to get a little retribution for these fights. It's still 11-3, and they are going. They see blood in the water, and if they can get a few more, it looks like they want it. Dashing forward to reload the gun. Spica takes a bit more damage, but not enough for the rest of the team to follow up, and this one is over.
That was wild. At least Daddy Dokla was waiting with open arms. Rotated from the bottom lane saying, okay, just come to me, guys. This is going on for way too long. The reason why that was tough was because Dokla didn't have TP. That was TSM Academy being so confident in the dive that they knew that they can just do it with 4 members strong. And they should have been right. The problem is, there's so much sustain on Senna, especially the shield off of her ultimate, and tankiness from Breezy on the set that just made it far longer than it should have been. So at least that worked out now. Fake God was able to get off a kill on that one, but you can't just rest on those plays happening again. TSM Academy will learn.
There was way too much craziness that happened there. It would never be able to go the same way twice. I mean, so the amount of chaos that Saligo and disruption he created to stay alive still allowed 100 Thieves to come back pretty strong on that. Breezy in the 2v1 has quite a bit of shield built up, as he doesn't need to use it to get out of this situation. You can see his grit now going down to 0. And I don't think he'll be able to sustain another one of those fights. He will lose top turret as TSM now drop 2 of those structures off 100 Thieves side of the map.
I was wondering what was going on mid lane, just because it seemed like there was they were setting up for a pick on Syndra, but Syndra had already left the lane, so couldn't get anything off of that one. But you can already see how wonderful of a champion Set is. Isn't he just beautiful? Just take a look at him. Like, you can chunk him. Oh, he can sustain up a free Warmog's passive, basically. So he can still stick under turret. He's not forced back to base. You think you can burst him? The huge shield. And in fact, it'll only get worse because he's going for an early pick on... Oh, what's the item name, actually? I'm actually blanking on the item name that is the most standard one for every support to build.
Convergence? Gargoyles?
Gargoyle Stoneplate. Perfect. Gargoyle Stoneplate is wonderful for Set because he does way more damage with Grit passive on his W, the more HP that he has. So that's the beautiful thing about it. He actually opted towards away from it, actually.
Dead Man.
Went towards a Dead Man. I would have much rather seen the Gargoyle Stoneplate. I think that's a much better pickup with how this game's been going for him. I guess he's I guess he's a carry, so he's trying to get some damage on time. I don't know. I still love Gargoyle Stoneplate here.
To that point of him being fun, my buddy, I was always telling him in a game to be like, hey, you're low, get out of lane. And the fact that he said, this is exactly where I want to be when he was getting ganked in a 2v1, let me know that that's almost not okay. I have 200 health. This is exactly where I want to fight the enemy.
And it looks like 100 Thieves, with how they've been playing through mid, are rearing for a fight. So if they can get any pick, I would say it would have to be off of Saligo, off his Azir shuffle. It's like they're trying to go for a top lane dive on Dokla, recognizing that they just don't have vision on Dragon, so they would be opting into a bad fight.
Oh. Dokla looks like he created a bit of distance off of Contract's positioning, a slice and a dice. Yeah, gets right out.
All right, safe and sound, doesn't have to use anything. And at the same time, now with TSM having Rift Herald in the previous play, they'll be able to push this not only to the first turret, but will go into the inner turret as well. I wonder what 100 Thieves are going to do, because this is a bad trade for them.
Yeah, singing the praises of Dokla there as well to get out of what would have been a 4v1 extended for 100 Thieves to get a kill and possibly go down top side. He stays alive and the team gets mid. Rift Herald will not get a second charge, but much, much more ahead of the game here. TSM is able to put everything they want to do into kind of position and then just execute on it. And 100 Thieves is a few steps behind.
Take a look at the minimap. The way that Breezy and Prismal have been positioning, they've been trying to look for a flank, if possible, if TSM overstayed their welcome both mid or bot. Just remember that even in that play, Dokla was aware of it, had good flank wards that he could utilize to join in on the team. So this is just going to be tough for 100 Thieves. If they're behind and they don't have any, strong engage points, it would have to be Breezy. Then, they just suffer for it. It's going to be really tough. They just have to be creative is all it is.
Yep. There's about 1,000 standing gold that 100 Thieves could grab in bounties. That's going to be a tough one, though. Dokla's kept himself very alive and very safe through these past few games, doing exactly what the team needs on one of their solo lanes. 3.5 minutes for that Cloud. Looks like it could be our second for 100 Thieves, or our third for TSM to get themselves near Soul Point. And with a few core items finished on each side, I'm sure 100 Thieves is feeling a little bit better to maybe take a fight, but it's going to have to be, as I said, on their own terms.
And that's the thing. You made a mention of it earlier, Riv. The fact that Dokla's been playing incredibly respectfully topside while the bottom side of the map has been working well for TSM. That's just the team being very succinct, understanding their roles as a squad, and just playing by the book. It's been something that's been tough for 100 Thieves Academy during this game, is that the deaths that have been coming through from contracts weren't all after they fell behind. Those were earlier on with issues where he was trying to take Scuttle Crab when his bot and mid lane weren't there, so it should have been communicated, but it wasn't listened to or wasn't. These are issues that shouldn't even be happening at this stage of the split.
See how TSM reacts as opposed to this, right? Are they going mid, or are they trying to push quick? It looks like they've all converged in mid, but that's the first time we see Doka get caught out, not having enough wards. A great job by 100 Thieves to identify a position and timing on the map where they could send that many people bot lane to not lose the rest of their map. All they have to do now is a little janitorial duty on these waves if they can get there.
Yeah, real good opening. They'll be able to chip onto the top lane turret, but I mean, you're right. They'll be able to get here on time to at least contest for it. Oh my god, that was way too fast.
That was real quick. I did not expect them to just, because they were mid and TSM instantly flipped the switch and said, mid's not our top, mid's not our chance, evolve push top. And so they kind of are able to really fight back on everything that 100 Thieves wants to do. Good focus by Fake God taking down the turret on the bot side. And that's what kind of makes it hard for 100 Thieves, right? You say it's either from the team that's in the lead where they can win a fight and then take something, or you're on the side of 100 Thieves where you win a fight, push the waves, win a fight, push the waves, and then you're in a position to win a fight.
I just like the fact that the 100 Thieves Academy is not just taking it sitting down. That they are taking chances, and when they see it, and forcing TSM Academy to make optimal plays. If they messed up, then 100 Thieves Academy can be there on time to take the fight with the right numbers. Like, all of these things are what to most teams, or like what half the teams in Academy would give 100 Thieves Academy a foothold back into the game. But the problem is TSM Academy has been aware of that. They still made a mistake, and you have to recognize that. With Dokla falling towards, took Fake God in the bottom lane early, but at least 100 Thieves is trying.
Absolutely, yeah. Saligo's having a much better game as the focus was kind of around him this time, so we're still waiting to see a little bit of that power from the Deathless Azir. A Fake God could put out some big AoE damage if the team of TSM does decide to group, but he just needs to get now up on items here. 3-1-1 Dokla probably ready to finish a few as they set themselves up towards this dragon area with 15 seconds to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big fight. I mean, 6,000 gold lead. There's no reason TSM should back off of this. It's how 100 Thieves can work around that lead.
Yeah. Problem with having Set and Senna as your mid lane trio, at least a part of your mid lane trio, is that you'll always have, you'll always lose the shove mid. So TSM can just play through mid, and we'll get an easy dragon off this one. Right now, 100 Thieves just need to play through Graves on side lane. If they can get them getting pushed out and then joining the team on a numbers advantage, then at least they have something. But not really being given that opportunity.
And they've shuffled themselves into the non-teleport top too. So Graves is at the fight with teleport up, and it looks like now as he's pushing top lane, Saligo's gonna have to get here quick because his team is being hit 5v4. Prismal's almost out of this one as he goes shadow form. Dorko's gonna be on the chase there. Little shock and awe towards the backside as Breezy tries to get the showstopper onto two members. We were talking about how squishy that backline is, but you can see they still take the fight to 100 Thieves. This one scatters all across the map, and props to 100 Thieves from preventing too many people from going down there. A lot was used, though.
TSM did use quite a bit, but I would say I was more concerned with the fact that they overchased. Going into their red side jungle for a kill, don't do that. But they're on Baron now. The only concern was it gave 100 Thieves Academy the opportunity to base and be back on the map fast enough to challenge for this. Let's see if TSM's ready to take this fight.
Doko's pushed off what would be his flank. Now he's just at the front door, and he's going to be the first one they see. Dominus is on halfway cooldown, so he's just in there throwing punches. Contracts and the rest of the team are trying to stand tall as Prismal and Dokla go 1v1. I don't think Dokla can take that fight. Very close for Saligo going down as he shuffles over the wall. And now Fake God able to provide a bit of damage as they do lose Contracts. And Unleashed Power from Evolve picks up that first kill of the fight. Second kill as Breezy had gone down. And we'll see if this one continues. 100 Thieves tempting the vision to see if they can keep anybody from back.
They're pretty long death timers too. It gives TSM the opportunity to get back onto the map, re-establish their vision, and then just recycle the play. 100 Thieves Academy needs to do something, and I like the fact that Big God is taking Scuttle Crab here. It makes it easier for them to not fall into the same trap again.
Yeah. Props to as well 100 Thieves from being able to punish even a few of these fights. Come off of the last one knowing they could base and get to Baron. The team had now 7,000 gold lead against you, which should be very, very in TSM's favor. And 100 Thieves are finding a window that's open on the last few engages here to get safety and then get back into it. 13-4 as we come up onto 25 minutes. That Baron still stands with 2.5 onto Cloud. Just kind of taking stock of summoners and the ultimates up. It looks like they're going to be waiting for a few of those before we probably get into another big fight.
Peeping the items here, the fact that we got a Shirelia's picked up by Treats shows that they really do want to get these fights. Lost his flash because of the first engage that they had on contract. He just wants the fight to happen. So they're less inclined to just go for Baron, but use the vision to set something up like this.
Shirelia's Reverie is used. They are going into this fight now. Breezy contracts a little bit low here. Showstopper back as Dokla takes quite a bit of damage on his entry into the fight. But they are going to be able to do good on this one. Syndra picking up 2 kills immediately. Possible a third. No, that one goes to Dokla as TSM just absolutely obliterate 100 Thieves.
Slam them. Just wrapped around that blue side jungle and easy pickings with a TP from Evolve. That's the fight that they've been setting up for. They finally got it down.
Seeing Dokla get thrown into the back there, as soon as that kind of front-end nuke damage comes out of Breezy, there's just a lack of damage in there. If they haven't set up where Soligo's soldiers are, if they don't have Fake God in the right spot to end of the line, he's only got a few shots. It's tough. It takes time for that 100 Thieves fight to really be hitting at full capacity.
It is, you know, pretty unfortunate because remember, with consistent skirmishes happening like the last one that we saw that set up the Baron, 100 Thieves Academy just didn't have flashes. Like no flash on Soligo, flash on Breezy, Prismal. It made this fight so much cleaner because of it.
And those are the few of the things I thought they'd wait for, but almost no time to wait on that pressure.
Yeah, you can't. That's why if you're the J4 team, you just have to go. Even if you end up just getting flashes, you have much shorter cooldowns for the next round of ultimates, right? Especially with Cloud Dragons coming into your pockets, it's just easy to happen. So now 100 Thieves, like they don't even have an opportunity for their flash to come up again because TSM is already looking for the next play.
And look at this flank that Spica could have if anybody does step out just too far from that turret. Also has the rotation against base wall over to what would be Dokla. They're just going to take that themselves. Get the flag out and take down the last outer turret. Now all that has is base defense here for 100 Thieves. We'll see what they can put up.
Zir pushed out top lane. He's going to join the team, but very late. So this is a fight they can go for.
Big damage starting as they get to Fake God. He flashes away from the fight as Treats is now into the turret. Wants to position himself a little bit better. Spica now being the one tanking that one. He gets show stopped right into the ropes. Goes down next to the Nexus of 100 Thieves. And it's going to be one inhibitor and one Spica on the way out. Prismal did actually fall in that fight using his flash.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, heal.
Guess what time it is? It's time to get that dragon. Dragon Soul now.
TSM's got Soul.
They were waiting for it.
Right.
They could have ended the game there, but of course with Spica going down, they just chose the safe path. Don't make any crazy plays and lose it all for it.
Just kind of great, not kind of, I was going to say something else, but just great overall play from Dokla, Evolve, and Treats this game. They have great KDAs. That doesn't always mean they're playing great, but they did last game as well. They were playing strong. They're keeping themselves in safe spots, taking the right fights with their teams. You talked about synergy for TSM, and it seems like they are just running at max capacity on that right now because last game almost looked the same.
Yeah, it's just a clear understanding of what your role is. Because even going into this game, while you were set up to succeed bottom lane for TSM Academy, Dokla got the first 2 kills. So at that time, they played an audible, got a Rift Herald early because they knew that their, that weak side top laner is now their strong side. But before I even get into that point, we're about to get into another scrap if 100 Thieves steps up a little bit too far in the mid lane.
I've seen this show before.
Yeah, it's happening a lot.
Looks like they'll get to safety on this Spica. Oh my word. He's going to, oh, I thought he was going to hit the 3. That would have just been gross. That's the thing I do, and then you have to ask, you could do it, but did you ask if you should? Because they keep themselves safe, and they are just going to, again, play the base wall. They have nothing to go for broke on. They are fully in control of this game with Cloud Soul now in their favor. They can dip from lane to lane as the super minions slowly push in bot, and it looks like that'll stop by Fake God, so they won't get a full push on the Nexus turrets from the
This
minions.
is the wave they want to use because they were just patiently waiting for the double super minions in the bottom lane to do its work. But they're also, you can see them holding onto the top lane wave. They're doing it because they want to also use it coinciding with the mid lane wave. So both waves are crashing at the same time. Graves and Breezy were both mid.
Emperor's Divide out, but that's going to be Treats going to the back line, able to get all around and through the Cataclysm as they start to drop 100 Thieves because they are charmed up. Breezy's going to stay alive a little bit longer from Prismal's ultimate, and it looks like the TSM's having a bit of trouble under the turrets, but they're still able to find their way in the light at the end of the tunnel. It's a lot of kills onto 100 Thieves, and they continue to put the pressure on the base. Mid looks like it could go down, but it might just be from the side lanes that TSM finds those Nexus turrets here as they push on to the Nexus.
Seems like TSM Academy woke up on the right side of the bed this morning. They got a hearty breakfast.
Seriously.
And they're about to end it right now.
Few more fights to the back line. Patting the KDAs as Breezy wants to get out there. He'll take a fight. Puts himself in the cage at the end, but he will not be grabbing the briefcase. Second one goes to TSM, and they go for another one. Battle Dance in, and that's going to be the kill as they get it on to Contracts. Signing off on that second game. 30 minutes in. TSM take number 2.
Yeah, that was this series is turning out to be a banger.
Barn burners left and right. So if you got a barn, hide it from TSM because this is a tough one. It's just been running through the early game, even with 100 Thieves trying to put up their own kind of wrench in the works. That 1.5 minute play where you mess with the jungler still went in favor of TSM.
Like, what do you even do? Because if you're 100 Thieves Academy, at least from the last 2 games that have happened back to back, it looks like you are so far outmatched. In the level 1, that one's fine. It happens to any team. It feels like a 50-50 coin flip of whether the support chooses to sack his own lane to come up for the top lane. TSM did it. They read them. That's fine. And then it comes down to like how they were trying to play up towards top lane, where they got smashed. The bot lane dive was actually so bad for 100 Thieves Academy that you just don't know what to say at this stage. And you can feel maybe a little bit of tilt, but that's where you just got to go back to comfort. What has been the most comfortable comp that has worked the best for you throughout the entire split? That's what they have to ask themselves to be a lot more focused on like the skirmish side of things. They're not going to get Pantheon. It's been banned throughout the series, but something to that nature, because it feels bad if you're 100 Thieves Academy because you're getting slammed by TSM Academy.
TSM's looking great. 100 Thieves back to see what's going to work out of the wheelhouse. Maybe some of those feel goods, something back from the day that they one trick. We'll see if they go for the one tricks in the final game. So it's going to be time for a quick break. When we return, it is game 3 of 100 Thieves versus TSM Academy. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back, Riven Raz on the attack as the 2020 Spring Academy playoffs, and we're already into Game 3. Just like the Spring Split, this series is flying by right now. A 26-minute game and a 30-minute game from TSM over 100 Thieves.
It's a fast one. Great for TSM. Seems like this split's been going by, and you're singing songs. Like 100 Thieves Academy, it's press the eject button, somebody. Like, I think going into Game 3, they just need to think about the early game and only the early game. They need to be competitive so they can actually get some of the strategies, or at least like what they have been learning throughout the split.
Right.
In actuality, like they just need to start working on it because they haven't been given a chance this series.
I believe we see 100 Thieves choosing blue as well. No subs coming into this game, so we're going to keep running it. Tried and true for 100 Thieves. They feel good. Come into this one that maybe it'll be some, as we said, wheelhouse champions, things that just feel comfortable as they go into the game. They've tried to kind of attack TSM at that 1 minute mark, as we said, as TSM did in Game 1. It just doesn't seem like anything is working out for 100 Thieves. So where do you go to in the drawing book at that point?
In the draft, I want to see something more proactive out of Saligo. Give him the opportunity to carry. Throughout the split, his LeBlanc play, I know Silas had been banned in the previous game, but like the ability to play through Saligo has been successful. I think he is one of the best players right now in the academy, if not the best mid laner. I would love to see the ball in his hands. The problem is he's now going into Syndra 2 games in a row as an Azir player. And while that's fine as the game goes on, he just hasn't had the opportunity to play the game.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to wipe out Syndra unless you make a flashy play on her in that middle lane. I like what you're saying. Give him more agency, put him on something that can take out that Syndra. And we'll have to see. I mean, is he one of the big ones to go for a Zoe? The Syndra's on his list. He had the Akalis back in the day, so he's got some aggro in there.
He can play anything.
He can definitely put up the numbers.
He can honestly play anything. I love his LeBlanc play.
Absolutely.
But taking a look at this draft, nothing should change. It's hilarious that it feels like we're going to be running into the same draft because TSM's counter picks they should feel comfortable with, and 100 Thieves Academy should be happy with taking the set on first pick. Now, Senna was banned because it was still difficult for TSM's bot lane to deal with it, even with the huge lead that they got. But you shouldn't be seeing set dropped at all. It should be a first pick set for 100 Thieves.
Just the suspense.
No, don't do it.
Suspense. There's the Renekatekaton locked in.
I ain't a fan of that. I mean, I guess it's going back to comfort, but FLICKR is comfortable on the set. He should still be able to play it. I don't even think it's that good for Renekton in the top lane. I think there's so much built-in sustain on set that even off of bad trades, he still wins. And he also indexes into the Blade of the Rune King build with QMax that he could do well in. So it's unfortunate to see the pick come through. We won't be seeing set today, it seems like, or at least for this game. Syndra's is going to be insta-locked by TSM.
GP gets through. Yeah, quick and fast. That GP has found himself on the ban list the past few games, so getting through on this. Interesting for Dokla. Now he can have even more control of that side lane. He's been playing super safe, just straight to the fundamentals of farming. Don't get ganked, and now he can participate across the map without him being there.
Seems like they're going straight back to what they wanted to do in Game 1. And TSM Academy going with the GP early, even though it's not as easy to evade these ganks as Poppy, you still have insane use of your ultimate, of course. Like, you still have the global you can help bot lane with. The sustain that you have on your W is also really effective, so it's going to be hard for Elise to get much off of her cocoon. You still have to be able to have Renekton right on top of GP to layer it so the orange just doesn't evaporate it. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be better for Dokla to be on the GP pick here, or at least for the team.
Triple Jarvan. He's the 4th, but is in the 3rd game as well. We'll see if Spica has that same consistency here, getting the flag and drafts, being in the face of Contracts whenever he can, or on the other side of the wall so Contracts can.
I would have liked to see a Nautilus pick here from 100 Thieves Academy, or at least something that makes it so Elise can go bottom lane as well. She doesn't have to go top side of the map. So, Braum just makes it so you can probably go for a safe lane. It's good for TSM to ban Ezreal out going into second phase because it also works alongside it of being a safe bottom side pick. Seems like 100 Thieves just want to play the top lane as much as they can, at least in this game.
There's the final Lucian ban coming in from TSM with 25 seconds over to the side of 100 Thieves. And we'll see what they decide after TSM's 4 pick, but
I like the ban from
it's going to be a
Thieves.
Thresh.
I think the Rakan ban was smart. They didn't want to give TSM another Xayah Rakan lane, so it's going to make it so...
Take away the for sure initiation besides the jump.
Exactly, and it's also another safe pick as well. So Rakan and Xayah and Rakan together just provide way too much for TSM Academy.
Oh boy, well, they still got the anchor toss and depth charge coming through from Nautilus on trees, so let's see how they answer. They already have a good bit to block this. You can get a scat of the week out of there with the Braum Unbreakable.
MF is still available.
Not too much else.
I think 100 Thieves were probably just 2. So the problem with going Kai'Sa into MF is just that MF Nautilus is just a strong lane. At least we got that Silas pick for 100 Thieves.
He got his Silas.
He got it. At least he got it. That's something now you can play through, so it's not just top lane. You have Elise and Silas that can try and take down Evolved. At least that's another door that you can play through.
Oh my word. You know what's funny?
up?
Is I just look back at that week 9 game of 100 Thieves versus TSM, and they actually played Renekton, Jarvan, Syndra.
Yep.
Now it's Gangplank. They just did that second game, but they still have this Jarvan Syndra combination. They're loving it.
It's just so safe. You can already see it from game 1 that Spica wanted to play the Jarvan no matter what. In game 2, he picked it when most people would pick Syndra. I mean Sejuani. So they can have a Sejuani Renekton combo. But like, that's just what they've done throughout the regular season, especially the last few weeks. And they're just trying to ride with comfort. They know their roles as best as they can with these kind of picks and with this composition as a whole. The MF last pick is the easiest last pick of the world. I'm actually surprised that Kai'Sa Braum came out, because Kai'Sa Braum is a bad lane to the MF. Like, that's just a lot of damage early on that MF should be happy with. She also gets pretty easy items early, like she can go double Doran's Blade, triple if she wants to over-index in it, but that's something if the lane's been pretty bad at that point. And so that means that early Dragon should be easy for the side of TSM Academy.
All right, we'll have to see. We'll be in game shortly. Quick 5-minute break for that competitive integrity to keep the competition at its highest. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the 2020 Spring Academy playoffs. We're in the quarterfinals right now and already into game 3 as TSM is just blowing through these games as they face off against 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves choose blue side once again, and hopefully they can take the win.
I gotta be honest with you, Riv. Like, as much as I love, Saligo getting an active pick like the Silas,
all right,
I think LeBlanc would be a little better. I mean, it's a hard lane to go up against the Syndra. You do need a little bit of help, so I'm glad that you still have the Elise to pair up with that. But I just don't want to see any more flubs in the early game from 100 Thieves to find themselves at constant deficits before any time 100 Thieves even get a chance to group up. So let's have a clean, stable early game. And let's get a game 4 going, please.
Yeah, right? See if they start to invade a little bit. It looks like a line of scrimmage for our for our third game, rather. Not a best of 3, it's a best of 5. And it does not look like anybody's going to be too much invading. Now, TSM did do a late invade on that first one, but it also doesn't look like they're gathering.
Look at Breezy. Oh my god, they really want this invade.
100 does.
They're going to live and die by that sword. Last time around, they lost because it was Treats who was there first. They want to force this level 1, please.
I love it. I mean, Contracts has volatile Spiderling, so
oh
it's not
my
going to
god!
Offered in the fight. Saligo over the wall. We're getting a Raz. The 5v5 level 1 game 3. Saligo goes down to 100 HP, and everybody considers that fight one more time as it starts to happen.
They did my man Saligo dirty. How is he going to start off in this bad matchup with like 100 HP?
That's tough. That's tough. Evolved has had kind of the easy role. Really not even playing through the lane, right? He's been roaming with Spica entire game, and then Saligo does what he can do mid. But now I think Evolved will be very happy with that matchup, as you're saying.
100 Thieves literally said that we live and die by our swords. They go back for the same play and saying, hey, last time you brought your support, we will bring Breezy as well. And TSM matched it. Pretty insane how that's gone off. And take a look. J4 is now gone for this one. We talked about this gank pattern. Get red, go bot, try bush, and gank. But he did walk by a ward, I think. Not too certain. So he just goes for his blue buff.
Ooh, my word, it's so touch and go. Both of them are just at 200 HP. Fake God gets a call to Meek back to heal himself up. As Dokla's working with a bit of trial by fire, you can see on his sword there. He uses it on a minion just to start farming. But yeah, we are going back and forth real quick. That invade for 100 Thieves as well kind of threw me off because Breezy was so far back. Braum is one of your biggest frontliners in that engage, and he wasn't even able to really get a Winter's Bite down.
I just don't think it's a good level 1 for them. I know that they have Silas, E, and Braum, so you would think you should be confident with that, but is this tough? Especially if you're going up against an exhaust MF early. I think that kind of tilts it in favor of TSM a little bit.
That's true. Great point. That's a good eye. It is actually exhaust coming in from a support on Breezy as well. As we see that being used a bit more.
Yeah, with the buff that exhaust got a few patches ago, people have been really enjoying it. It's been making a resurgence. There have been actually in solo queue a lot more people doing double exhaust bottom lanes, but hasn't been happening.
Yeah.
Having that conversation. Contracts is thinking about this dive, but the wave is way too thin.
And talking about it, maybe goes back for it as we just kind of chat about exhaust. Like the options that people have and the scenarios they played around with exhaust as well have to almost be relearned, right? You can catch people off guard, you take them down thinking, oh, that's the sliver of health, but exhaust stops you from getting that sliver of health you think you could damage. So it's very interesting to see those play out again as it hasn't been used for quite some time.
Yeah, it's especially in the first week of scrims when you like off that pack. The amount of
I love the hesitance.
The amount of exhaust plays, like the amount of 2v2s that people have fought and then realized that they just lost because the enemy team had exhaust. It just drills it into you to always check sums and to respect it. So get a little bit of that one here.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing those times come around again because then you get a whole different style of play once it is kind of at its max level again. As we come up here, 4.5 minutes, and a little bit of love in a 5v5 as our 1 minute fight went off. It stayed true to each game in this series. I'm liking it. And 100 Thieves is looking to get a lead on this one. If they can't get ahead in the beginning of this game, it might be just detrimental, as TSM has had such a lead and played with such confidence as soon as they even get
Yeah,
one.
and they're already thinking steps ahead. You saw that bot lane base coming in from Lost and Treats for double longsword. That's because they wanted the dragon play.
What?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Breezy.
Oh no. That teleport was taken by
Are they
Prismal.
going
He
for
said,
it?
I'm out of here. Double up.
No!
Hit the turret. Oh, he's going to be good. Treats on the aggro. Beautifully done there to grab that as they went into the turret. Now a fight to evolve in the mid lane. Will he be able to keep this one as Soligo? There's the agency he was looking for. Flashes forward and gives him a quick chain link.
Hey, man. You may have got us in game 1 and 2, but you ain't going to get us again in game 3. At least
That's what I'm hearing.
Soligo is ready to fight. He didn't start off to a good start in this game, but now has that first kill. Maybe we can see something happening here for 100 Thieves in the mid game.
All right, a little bit of vision clearing as that's going to be a breather. Everybody's reset. No, top lane. Back and forth. Nice barrel set up. Oh my god, Dokla gets hit with that call to meet. Gets a heal up on Fake God as well. Could be the kill. Does he have Volatile Spiderling to come out the flat? Oh, that was gross looking as he just did it. Quick succession with the fast fingers. Contracts. Gets a kill for top side.
Beautiful to look at. This is the type of fire you wanted to see earlier on, man. And you're starting to see it now.
Man, like we've been seeing 100 Thieves try to execute on these, falling short. It's not like this is the first game they're doing it. This is the first time they've been able to get the results on TSM. Speaking now has to watch topside. I mean, he's going to be happy about that. That's a lane paycheck for him. Doklo long walk back as he was quickly teleported back to lane as Fake God stole all of his health nice and early in that lane. So 100 Thieves are putting a few things in order. Absconded Duck there is evolved once again, grabbed in contract.
Got him.
Oh, looks like he's omnipresent this game. And Breezy looking for the flash Q. I like that. The predict. We'll call it a predict as they still come up with the kill.
Look, if we're going to take our, critical glasses on, Speak is mad this game. The fact that his lanes have fallen to very easily, like, you don't have to die in these ways. Like, Contracts getting the kill on Evolve early, fine. Makes sense, right? That was a play that they would wanted to set up. You made the mistake. Burn flash. You respect that. GP already knew Elise was topside. There was no reason to look that far in lane and, make that trade happen when you knew that Elise was looking for you the entire game long. Found the opportunity, gets the kill on GP, and then Evolve doesn't have flash because of the prior play, and so there is basically no reason for the last 2 kills to be happening. But at least the 100 Thieves are starting to feel themselves.
And really putting Soligo on a bit of a pedestal here. He had about 150 to 200 HP when he started in that lane against Evolved. Now who is 0-2-0. So Soligo just holding his own this game. On the Azir for the first 2 games. Had decent lanes, but couldn't really push the fights around the way that he wanted here. On that Silas he's been looking to get. It was banned from him in these games. Looks pretty good in that mid lane for himself. Evolve's going to go ahead and pick up blue buff here. Head back in to keep that farm fest going on the mid side of the map. 12.8 to 12.3. Still not an extravagant lead. And Cloud Drake or Rift Herald could be the first thing to tempt our junglers.
So much has happened in such a short time that redrawing your footsteps is actually really important here, where TSM had set up for a dragon play really early on and had basically, like, for 5 steps in advance would have been able to get it. But not only did Lost and Treats index into a dive bot side, so they really couldn't stick around for far too long,
Right.
but also the mid and top lane just collapsed at the same time. So at least he gets it, but only because that was Elise topside getting a proper trade, and now we'll be trying to get some golden Fake God's pockets.
Yeah, big turrets could come out of this one too if they want to use it right away or for a bit of pressure later. Nice little cleanse there on the OK Orange. We're going to have pushes on both sides of that. Treats with a quick shield down as that was under turret aggro on the depth charge. Or I should say anchor toss as the bullet time goes flying across. And we actually are going to get this top side hit. About half a plate is going to be left unless they can get it down to 2.
They have a full wave.
So yeah, you'll get half the plate.
They should be able to get
half a plate here.
Be able to get the full turret now, just because.
Heck yeah.
Let's see if the dive comes off here. Wow.
Why not activate on the bottom? If you know that much is happening, TSM is going to say, we'll take our fair share. They do not have the same wave, though. They do not have the same pressure as 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I was wondering if they could defend a 3-man.
Oh, second hit?
But they had Syndra coming in as well. But this has just been a great response from 100 Thieves Academy early on. No, Prismal, you can't be here alone.
But what if I, that's the answer, right? And he does not. Speak is going to be able to take him down. Saligo says, I got an ultimate depth charge on. Oh, nice stopwatch. They do get that pivotal play out of Treats as he keeps himself alive, and that's kind of big for the initiator there, wanting to get in and be able to play the stopwatch trickery. A lot of sums used in Saligo. A little omnipresent on the map himself. Contract's having a much better game on this Elise as the team goes back to it. You know, you spoke a little bit about the first games of being able to kind of point to draft, point to this and that, and they're kind of mixing and matching parts of their drafts now that did feel good.
Yeah, and I'm a little disappointed because if you have moments where Contracts is firing off, Saligo is having those moments, or even earlier on in this split when Prismal and Breezy were doing the exact same, right? On the opposite side of the map, you have to give them room to breathe. You have to recognize that this game, like, you don't need, you can, you know, concede your side of the map completely, right? You can play smart, recognizing that you're getting something much larger on the opposite side of the map. But 100 Thieves made a pretty damn good play up top side, and then down bot side were very disrespectful of J4 having control of their side of the map. So you just don't want that to happen, because this is when 100 Thieves Academy are getting their second win. Like, they're starting to feel good. Contracts is having a phenomenal early game, but it's still being traded to TSM. These traded goals shouldn't be happening.
Good point. Working now on this dark vision. You can see the pink ward just to the right here for TSM. Saligo does not bite. Very smartly so. Stays in mid lane protected as the junglers walk by each other quickly. I believe they saw each other. It seemed about a round to at least see the Raptors being taken. And now Spica will slowly kite in between Contracts here. They now go cat and mouse, and Contracts is going to be bought for what could be a bit of pressure from Treats and Lost, but they won't get too close.
Even with the kills going into the pockets of Saligo, remember that this is still a bad matchup for him. That Syndra can always just push out the lane and then rotate towards the squad. So 100 Thieves still always have to fear for the invade in their red side jungle for a possible dive here. So even with the lead there for Renekton, it still doesn't feel quite as good. I would say the best solution to that for it would be a skirmish. It looks like they're looking for something here bot lane.
Semi reading it. We only have Spica there, so yeah, no push in from Lost and Treats. 100 Thieves, a slight lead here as the map goes back to open up. Everybody's going to get some pretty reset waves here, except for top side. Fake God still pushing in just a little bit. And the reigning champs kind of on the brink here with a little bit of a roster change, obviously, in that top side and around, but looking at possible defeat here against TSM in the quarterfinals.
It's going to be tough, especially with how, you know, synced up TSM Academy are as a squad. That they always can get the max of a trade. That being said, Dokla still has to watch out. He's always being tested here, which is fun to watch a weak side player. But now that he's, you know, put behind, that he has a wave underneath his second turret, he can farm a little bit more safely. And as you saw earlier when he was bot lane helping out his team get vision, he can be a little bit more flexible to help the team as well. Doesn't have to stay on the top side of the map knowing that he doesn't have vision in his own red side jungle.
You see the cannon barrages come out. Haven't really seen too much of a 5v5 fight other than our level 1 at 1 minute. And just kind of going over how 100 Thieves and TSM have both won weeks throughout the season. Looking at 100 Thieves, it was the 3 games from week 1 to week 2 they were able to string together. And then it was very 1-1 each week. Never really be able to find your stride in those situations to be able to pressure bot. And for TSM, from week 7 to the first week, a day of week 9, they had that win streak, synergizing, finding ways to come strong into the playoffs and get that mark for themselves. So there's definitely something to be said about that win streak TSM has had here at the end of the spring split, that it seems like they have found something else to work with.
Yeah, a few teams have really found their stride at the end of the split, which says a lot about, you know, that grit, I would say, from a lot of these teams. To still have that level of, you know, confidence at the end. But take a look at this. This is tough for 100.
There's that Braum pick. MF came after that, so Breezy knew he'd be able to block some, but just being pressured out, 100 Thieves is losing a bit of the ground that was created here early game, and that's what you're saying, right? It's not always one side of the map that needs to be strong. It's each side of the map working together, and TSM has seemed to be able to dismantle this bot side once they felt behind. 3-3 now as it starts to get more evened up. Evolved getting a bit of love in the mid lane. Unleash power available for both. They're going to rip it out, and it's going to be stronger from Saligo with the help of Fake God coming
That
out
was the window that we wanted to see, but it looks like Prismal has to watch out.
That was close. Flash blown there as more ultimates. Finally seeing Dokla's Cannon Barrage come out and affect the rest of the map as he can be omnipresent while in top lane and just giving Fake God hell. Fake God gets the push. He's up in CS. But Fake God's going to have to join these fights if he's going to be the big one. Good thing Saligo's big. Good thing Contracts is big.
Yeah, I love this from, 100 Thieves Academy side because they're playing to their windows. Renekton, the reason why they got the Infernal Dragon was because Renekton had pushed top and had joined the team just in case there's a fight. He recognized that he needs to be a part of the play. And going in for that mid lane dive, even with the flash available from Evolved, they knew they had the members to do it. That's why it's important for Prismal and Breezy to keep safe. If the play doesn't involve you, all you have to know is concede the wave if, Senior Jungle can dive you. And if he can't, then just pick it up underneath your turret. There's no reason for Prismal to be losing his heal on and that Cataclysm coming through from Spica. Or at least, no, it was actually the Dokla Gangplank ulti. Just play safe. You don't have to take that side of the map, or at least like that path, I mean.
We just saw the damage coming in from Lost on that double up. Prismal went down to half HP. He's still working that health back. Treats knows they're a bit ahead of the game. They don't even have vision really past their ward in mid there. Their what I call shoulder sides are just blue vision for 100 Thieves. So you can see how confident Treats is feeling. Being Nautilus, walking up, sourcing stuff with just the vision he can create on his champion. Pink ward now going to get cleared out as 100 Thieves is looking to protect mid. Bot lane's getting a bit of love here as they might be able to find Dokla in a sad spot.
He's going to take a little bit of damage or at least get pushed away from the turret. I didn't actually get to mention this. In game 1, when we saw the Renekton Elise in the Azir game, I didn't like that because they didn't have the opportunity to play on side lanes. That they had to play towards team fights with the Azir that they had. This game with Sylas, you can play a 1-3-1 pretty easily. And it forces TSM now to really index and trading whenever possible, and they should be losing these trades. So it's good from 100 Thieves Academy early that they're able to free up Renekton, get that bottom lane outer turret, and are now looking for the mid lane outer.
And double Herald control this game as well from 100 Thieves. Fantastic job kind of putting those steps before them, before they executed. We talked about how their composition's coming through. We're going to work really great on the spot and just take you by storm here.
Oh, no.
As they set things up, it starts to work, but TSM has figured them out, and the dominoes may start to fall. Breezy can go down right after Prismal falls, and the repel won't be long for Contracts as he gets right into the waiting arms of Evolved. A nice flash out, but all for naught as he is shut down, and that gold goes to Evolved. Big pickups all around.
That's the risk of running a 1-3-1 is that if you stay a little bit too late in your window mid lane, you just get collapsed on and died. Great play from TSM to just look for it. Lost 3 members, 100 Thieves Academy did. And a lot of the advantage that they accrued. They had a goal lead for quite a while in this game. Just lost it with that play.
It's like, I was saying, wait, what? Dokla's here too? His teleport is up? It just seems like they had such good positioning for that. An unfortunate thing for 100 Thieves. Saligo trying to stop some back so they can get a little bit more time to work on the map without seeing TSM just across the river from them. Ward there allows him to farm safe.
Here's the thing, Rip.
It looks like they're...
Because with these compositions, I know a lot of people don't get to see 1-3-1 comps really operate, not just in Academy, but also in LCS as well. Because it is difficult to play around. You have to have a lot of respect on mid lane, priority from the enemy team. Like, all you have to do is look towards your side lane. You can see 100 Thieves are back on the map and are pressuring again. Renekton's got GP down bot. Syndra would ordinarily be forced to play towards the top lane wave as well. And then you have, at most, a 5v3 advantage for 100 Thieves on Windows. Like, that's why it's so good.
Yeah.
Good timing now.
So good, it's almost a crime.
Exactly. And no one can apprehend 100 Thieves. They're already right now stealing this dragon. So that's the problem that TSM, even with the goal lead that they got in the last play, will still have to deal with.
This is looking good. Could be Ocean Soul that they're able to pick up for themselves here. 100 Thieves on their way 2 more, and they'll be able to have that. See how they continue to execute. TSM getting a little ground as they start to work the outer turrets and push 100 Thieves back into their own jungle. I love 100 Thieves' vision as it starts to creep up towards that bottom side where they need to be protected. And TSM is still playing around theirs, but it's back on that defensive. So we'll see if they push it forward and start to encroach onto the side of 100 Thieves.
And it was a interesting decision that that TSM made. I said the way I set up the 1-3-1 point was that ordinarily Syndra would have to answer top lane. I'll leave that for later. Dokla's getting hit.
Big damage. TSM tries to flank on this one. They do have the teleport from their team in. They're going to be safe to at least fight. But will the fight be safe? Fake God's low. He actually gets the skirmisher's smite. And he's going to be walking out of this one because he can't deliver too much back to speak at the time. 100 Thieves get themselves a turret. They're going to be able to walk out with every member. A teleport did have to come through there so they could get themselves out safely. But all things considered, they are feeling good.
Yeah, it was getting a little dicey there.
The game's so close in goal.
Yeah, it was getting a little tough, but at least they were able to, push back on that one. And Silas was able to, provide at least some cover for Fake God, who should have died, honestly, in that play.
What is the next move? We've looked about TSM moving their vision up. They do have 6 wards to their name that they could be pushing forward to the 5 on the side of 100 Thieves. So both teams keeping that resource available to make sure these fights go in their favor and they have the vision necessary. You have to wonder, you talked about the 1-3-1, how kind of timid 100 Thieves is now, knowing if they separate against the Nautilus and Jarvan, how fast the Nautilus and Jarvan will be on their back line.
Yeah, and so I think you just have to be respectful. As I say that, Contracts and Soligo might get caught here. I think we're okay.
Ooh, quick ward, yep.
Yeah, we're fine now. And teleports are coming up soon for Soligo. It'll take some time. Maybe actually a little too long. That's why they have to play to his side of the map. But the point being is just wait. Just be calm. Renekton is getting an advantage bot side, and he will be able to rotate and help you guys get mid covered. In fact, he already has an angle now. So TSM, I think this play from TSM is illegal. It's going to be a little tough.
Oh, Spica is taking quite a bit of damage, but now they pinched off Contracts and Soligo. This could actually be bad. The teleport's coming in for TSM. Contracts, beautiful stopwatch. Unleashed power, not really used that well. Soligo and Dokla going 1v1 as Prismal comes over the wall. Will he be able to get the killer instinct down? And no, he dies in the middle of the fight. Breezy now chased out of this, and TSM are able to turn the tables 22 minutes in on 100 Thieves.
There must have been some confusion from 100 Thieves Academy side. That was a good angle for Fake God to join the fight. He didn't even have to TP. He can just cut through the blue side jungle, but he didn't. And it actually made it awkward for the two who were trying to come up on the flank to the left side. TSM takes the fight. They got themselves a Baron for it.
It's tough for that dive in, right? It's like Breezy's kind of left out to dry. Hey, all of you can jump in, but I can't W to any of you at that distance. So we saw Breezy not being able to protect you much. And like you said, a little of miscommunication on how that one would execute. TSM's fight prowess again comes out on top for them there in a 5-0-2 loss. Now on this misfortune is almost 3 items deep.
It's tragic. That's the type of fight that the team will look back on and will, beat each other up over for. That the viewers will probably have the wrong read of, because it looked so scattered. The team looked so bad off of what was honestly probably just a very honest communication error. Renekton should have just come through the blue side jungle and they were ready for the fight. But maybe he just wanted to push the GP under inner turret. So that was just not the team not being aligned in a very crucial part of the game.
For sure. TSM, it's like they're accepting the 1v1s that TSM is kind of giving them, right? And always you have to respect if somebody teleports in front of your face, but if you're Fake God, you can slice and dice back into the fight. Things much easier said than done, and I'm also not their level of play, so 24 minutes into this one, 8-4, and we'll see what kind of lead TSM's working with here. Just 2K, but like we said, when TSM has a lead, they make it look like it's 10. They keep pushing. They're going to let you know they feel they're more powerful and stand right in front of you while they take your turret. Soligo has the Cataclysm out to try a fight as Dokla getting the run around in the jungle as Fake God takes top side.
Yeah, Dokla's trying to be close enough to the play while still getting farmed because he's not going underneath that turret top lane unless he wants to get killed. And even Elise was there. So I mean, 100 Thieves Academy are trying to find anything. Like, literally anything so they can get Renekton ahead. Doesn't have TP here, so the fact that he was top lane there just means that they were conceding that inner turret. So, right now at this stage of the game, it's looking pretty easy from TSM Academy.
Muramana Rage. Rage just finished. Feels good for Prismal. He can start getting himself into these fights with a bit more pow. And looking, it's just kind of at Breezy, what he's trying to offer. They're still on that kind of garage sale build, as Captain Flowers would say. Not having your items yet, but still trying to stat up and build your way to it. To the Gargoyle Stone Plate of Treats, who can kind of walk in, suss out a situation, and the team can leave if they don't want it. That's not even mentioning the engage tools TSM continues to use. As 100 Thieves, again, they don't have that for sure initiation in this composition unless they're stealing an ultimate.
Yeah, and if you're just taking a look at, you know, the items coming through from TSM, it's getting worse and worse. In fact, the Sterox Gauge wasn't even a purchase from Dokla here on the GP. He's just going straight towards some crit. So he wants to join the team. He's already confident in the front line that Treats and Spica offers. And so it's more of a question on what does 100 Thieves Academy do? Like, you can already see their answer. They're just trying to have Renekton split push his mind out topside. And then you can rotate over. But if they're ever in an even number footing, TSM Academy just wins.
Evolved, slightly alone in this situation, but 100 Thieves doesn't have enough vision to know that. Contracts may still try to activate. The cocoon just misses. And TSM really on the edge of getting a big fight there put against them. It's just all that vision. They're so safe to walk around. And how 100 Thieves is going to try to push mid. I like the way they're trying to play this kind of TSM's base side. Get there first, make TSM react. And if you're cutting the minion waves, that means TSM can't take turrets.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty fun just watching 100 Thieves Academy's response to all of that. Because it was just Renekton across the map booking it over. To see if they overstay bot lane, or at least give them the inside track on mid lane. But it's always being answered to. It's not bad what 100 Thieves is doing. I feel like it's really the only option they have, because TSM is just playing through mid lane. They're just sitting there. There's nothing you can do as long as they're grouped up.
It does become quite scary, because you also know even if one's missing, that ultimate is still going to be with the group. So you can't fight them expecting it to be a 5v4 at all. 100 Thieves looking to clear out vision now to make sure it's at least a 3v3 or 5, I should say 5v3 or something less than the fight TSM wants. Volatile spiders to check just about everything, as they do not want to go dry into these brushes. Get themselves taken out. 2-2 in Drakes as we have 2 minutes left on the ocean. A little bit of love for top side of the map is going to come through now as we have 1 minute on the Baron. It'll be a good time to get the vision up here. 100 Thieves still very confidently moving forward, knowing this is a much closer game than the previous ones, and it's great to see that they still have this left in the comp.
Yeah, it's just annoying for TSM Academy to deal with it, and it's good. Like, we're finally seeing consistent, you know, coordinated play from 100 Thieves to make it so TSM always has to respond to someone on side lane. So now that Syndro is up top, they can get topside vision. Now that GP will show bot lane on 2 huge waves, by the way. It's easy for Renekton to come and join, but Breezy's getting caught out.
They could be on to as well. Evolved. Contracts is going to repel back in. Spica does not get the kill. That's going to be Treats picking it up onto Breezy. Evolved keeps himself safe. Lost is able to fire away, but now Fake God, he's just fighting too much alone inside the red pit. Spica with a great flash over the wall to keep himself alive to flag and drag back into the fight. They're just such a mobile team. 100 Thieves is having so much trouble getting on them.
You just misstep once, and it's over. Like, Braum walks in too early before Renekton had any angle on mid lane to give you confidence. And they lose Braum before the fight even begins. So it's tough, man, and TSM is the team that just punishes you for it.
Oh. Realizing my excitement, I said TSM was a mobile team. Spica is mobile, and the rest of the team used Flash as well. But all of that just looked like they continued to have gap closers or ways to shift out of a situation. Tough for 100 Thieves to be able to calculate all of those and come out with the right play. Again, Breezy getting caught out as it became the vision. Finally, our fight started over what was a ward and escalated into that. Now 12-4 in favor of TSM, and that gold lead's starting to build. TSM now looking for another fight as they know 100 Thieves wants the ward. I like that from Treats. Stepped it so he wouldn't hit the wall, but Breezy with the finer step to get himself out safely.
100 Thieves should just give up this dragon. I know it's going to be their third and that they're going to be at soul point, but no reason to contest for vision when you know TSM Academy will be on the map. Treats is in position for another hook.
Oh, looks like he taxied that one to a minion, but he's still going to want it. Winter's Bite goes down onto him, but nobody's going to be able to lock down Treats. Saligo to the middle. Double Cataclysm towards the backside, but you saw him pushing himself into the fight, not using other abilities to get there. He wanted one thing, and that means your focus might be tunneled. Fake God's going to be the one going down here, and TSM still able to see the bigger picture in these fights.
Yeah, they got the pick on Evolved. At least 100 Thieves Academy is being competitive, but Lost is untouched. 8-0-5. Finished up his Bloodthirster before even that fight began. He's huge, and this should be the game, honestly.
Yeah, with these timers coming up, Fake God's 32. That means if you push through harder, it looks like they'll give a little bit of breathing room here.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, no. Dokla's waiting. Dokla's coming.
Look.
Maybe he thinks someone could be behind them. His cannon barrage is down, but maybe setting up barrels. A lot of maybes. Woulda, shoulda, couldas, and it looks like they're only going for one inhibitor on that one, but their pressure on the map is in every lane.
I'm calling it early, because at least for that one. I thought it would be TSM being confident enough to go in on that play. Fake God was gone. Lost was at full HP for that one. I think they could have ended it, but at the end of the day, playing a lot more safer. They know that they still have...
Yeah, this whole Dokla mentality is like a team thing, right? The way he's been playing, it's everybody's on that.
And so... it's getting pretty crazy right now. The fact that I was looking towards the build of Prismal to see if you'd get to Nashor's 2s first before, you know, Lost could be at Godsend level, but that's not even the case.
Yeah. Even can throw a Quicksilver Sash in there if he does get locked up by something now. So having that surplus of items to make your opponents have even a tougher fight. Wards cleared up the mid lane. The train's going to be coming down the track soon. It looks like Dokla will bring up the caboose on that bot lane. We'll have to see what 100 Thieves now can put up as a defense in the base. I think a fight more out in the open does kind of favor 100 Thieves here, so you can see where the members are. TSM really benefited in that red Brambleback fight because of the flashes over the wall, lack of vision. We'll see what happens, though.
Remember that 100 Thieves don't have Flash on any of their members. It's going to be tough for them if they get hooked to really find a way out of it. So it's just going to be eyes on Treats, who's been missing a few hooks to the later portions of the game. Just close this one home.
Got a ping on the top side turret. Looks like they might want to swap the way they're doing this for now. 2.5 minutes on any of your objectives on the map. So basically objective free, as I like to say. You work your waves, you get the vision out, and this is honestly a big time for 100 Thieves to be able to just sit within this lull and discuss what they need to do.
Yeah, good timing. Just remember, Renekton had to catch that bottom lane wave, had no idea where the GP would be going as he catches mid lane. So they just get a free top lane inner turret throughout the entire rotation. So it's just TSM trying to play this one out as clean. They know that 100 Thieves is a scrappy team, that they want to find a play on top of them, so they don't give them a chance.
Very methodical in the way they're working this. It reminds me of the TSM main team too back in the day, where they'd have a game, but they'd go through each inhibitor, even if they had a way to win already. Then obviously both Nexus turrets, and just make sure all of the base was gone. Leave nothing on your plate as you clean it.
TSM Academy is really forcing this one to be a Soul Dragon game, aren't they? This hurts. Hurts for 100. They gotta try to get something. Maybe they can try a pick onto Speaker.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Contracts has to flash out in order to repel if he was going to try. Just on the coattails of Breezy flies the dredge line from Treats, and that was a possible fight going down. Double scatter the weak back onto 100 Thieves. They're working with a lot less health at this point. And Cataclysm, that would have been a big one if you could have hit Saligo and Contracts after blowing that 5-minute flash. 34 minutes on the clock, Raz. I feel like TSM is kind of just playing with their food a little bit.
Yeah, they have Dragon coming up in 45 seconds, so if it doesn't end off this team fight that Saligo has been positioning for, TSM is just going to pick up a Dragon that has to be uncontested by 100.
Yeah. It's the question, though. Can the food bite back? Is it still alive? We will see. There's a Cataclysm onto Saligo. I like to see Sligo and Fake God with the same objective, the same target as they go into this fight. But they could get pushed away immediately. So many things to stop them from actually hitting what they need. That's the flag and drag in. Here comes Fake God Sligo. A big hit on the backside, and Cannon Barrage gets dropped on the flankers as they try to come through. Still going in with that Cataclysm. Sligo's going to do what he can do as Prismal's now in with Killer Instinct, trying to deliver out the damage, but it looks like they are just chipping away at brick walls. TSM gathering around each other as Breezy's still just on the edge, trying to throw snowballs into this fight. And there go the health bars of 100 Thieves. Fake God now running out of this fight, and Raz, I think that's all they wrote.
Right when you think you got an angle, takes Lost out of the fight, crit plank hits you. And now 100
That's
Thieves
huge.
are being packed home. This is tough to watch if you're a 100 Thieves fan.
The reigning champs going up against TSM Academy here in the quarterfinals, and 100 Thieves will find themselves defeated into 3-0 as TSM will be moving on to face Dignitas in their next semi-final.
All right, it's a little bit of fight. They ain't going out without a fight.
They ain't going out without a
They
fight.
got heart.
That's good. I'm going to do the call again anyways. They're going to be going out of contract.
Oh!
Speaker, he lives. Wait a
Hit
minute.
him.
Wait a minute. The Inhib spawned. We're alive, boys and girls. We're through this one. Through thick and thin, and it looks like 100 Thieves is going to be able to keep themselves alive on this one. Nobody's going to the semifinals just yet. Killer Instinct comes in. Scout of the Week back as well onto Prismal. How are they staying alive? They're going to start up the Drake. They're going to try to stop him from getting soul and get him soul to self. And can they do it? Treats a little bit left. Depth charge coming out to take him down. It's going to be a few more chain lashes coming in from Sligo to capitalize on that one. The Drake is picked up, so Ocean Soul is already flowing through TSM in the chaos that is almost the end of this series.
100's got heart, man. They ain't letting this one
Let's
end
go.
without a fighting chance. Prismal is taking his shots. Lost had to be sent back at home. Had to come the long way from base. They didn't have their 80 carry to end. And they knew that Inhib was spawning. They got time. And they made TSM pay for it.
All right, you're still working against the 7,000 gold lead. Longest game of the series so far with a 27-minute game, a 30-minute game, and now we've just crested over 35 minutes. 37 minutes if we want to be exact. We got the clock. And it's 5 for Elder.
Go get 'em.
A lot of patience needs to be here. One scatter, that's going to be a 3v1. 100 Thieves coming up with a kill that gives them more room on the map. Will they be able to find the rest of TSM? These are the 1v1s, or the 1v advantage numbers that 100 Thieves needed to be picking up earlier. And it looks like TSM is getting a little overzealous enough to put themselves in those positions.
Riv, these are some long death timers. If you get killed one more time, that's a Baron. That's with a 1-3-1 comp too. This is actually an opportunity for 100 Thieves to rob TSM.
Yeah, you have to remember, look at the map. They did so much work before. 100 Thieves is well in position to make this a one-and-done fight and Nexus game. Good warding going over the pit. Looks like 100 Thieves is going to attempt it. TSM starts to approach. Nobody from the flank. It is going to be the Cannon Barrage from Dokla. If they know this is going to be down, but he has to watch for that damage he's providing for them. Throws it on it. Baron goes in. It's going to be Speakers. The bullet time rips across 100 Thieves. And this could be the one that empties their pockets completely. Lost picks up a kill for himself right there. Treats is now on to Sligo. Could be the blast cone to save himself. And 100 Thieves is going to try to stop some pushing in.
Look at that
but
base.
also get back themselves. Here's Dokla and Evolved. They're inside the base, and they're letting the super minion do most of the work as they add the final touches on to the Nexus to move themselves on to the quarterfinals.
At least they fought back. They didn't make it a clean 3-0. 100 Thieves wanted the world to know that they were flinging fists. But man, TSM Academy, after this series, if you're Dignitas, if you're Cloud9, you're sweating bullets. You're afraid about these teams now.
Absolutely. I think TSM is just one of those the teams, while you've seen a few just of the comps that they're showing and they can play well, those are two still terrifying comps. That Tarek and then running a few other things. Like TSM, I feel like is coming into playoffs super strong. They have their stuff together and they're ready to pick up some more wins. I think they're going to give Dignitas a pretty big.
Yeah, when I was looking at the bracket as a whole, I actually thought that TSM had one of the better chances to take it all. I think TSM and Cloud9 look like the cleanest teams, which is so surprising saying that because like weeks ago I would have said Dignitas hands down. but they're still kind of recovering and working as a team to kind of fit Greg into the system. And also just, I think a lot of teams have also just caught up, flatly said. Even if Academy was sitting tight with the team in Academy, like, everyone got this shit together. Everybody, like, rallied and got stronger. You can already see how TSM was able to perform today. It's tough for any of these teams to be confident in that matchup.
Yeah. So looking at who they could play, we obviously have Evil Geniuses and Team Liquid tomorrow, and then Chosen first round winner or remaining first round winner. So looking at these, how are you feeling about Evil Geniuses and Team Liquid tomorrow?
It's an interesting one just because Evil Geniuses for me is the wild card, because they were the one that got Gyu, their new mid laner, at the end of the split, right? I don't even know who their mid laner is going to be for the playoffs time, because they decided that Five Fire was not playing near the end. So I think that makes them far weaker, that they have to kind of start from what seems like step one, while TL got that out of the way really early on once they were able to finally use Schernfire. And I think Schernfire is a spectacular jungle talent that, Team Liquid is starting to rally behind.
And one thing about Gyu, I remember his first game was on the Renekton that the team was actually able to win, but he had a tough lane. He was kind of focused, as I think any team should focus that new guy coming in towards the end of the season and give him a hard time. Yeah. But the mental he stayed in the game. Their team won the game, and he was a focus the entire early game and still provided at the end. So seeing that from him, definite plus, and I have big hopes for him in that mid lane coming in. So it's super cool to see that they're actually able to make that pickup. But you're right, it still doesn't make everything sync in the synergy that the team had before. So could be tough.
It'll be tough. I think Team Liquid has gotten better. They did have a pretty weak final week. And they just squeezed into playoff. I'm still salty, Riv. Like, head to head.
I hear you.
Get those wins, man. You have to. But Team Liquid found their way through the door. And I think they still have some strong talent in Yusui. I already talked about Schernfire. Like, playing through mid jungle should be a given for them. And that's also just the weakness that, for me, the way I would see EG. Like, you should play against mid jungle if you want to be able to beat EG. And I think Team Liquid has an edge there.
Absolutely. So, TSM Academy taking the win today over 100 Thieves Academy. Raz, thank you so much. I hope you had a blast, man.
Hey, man, I did. Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah, I'm glad you could get up here and do this with me. I had such a good time as we got to shout it out together for the 2020 Spring Academy playoffs. Everybody at home, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you still making time to come and check out the LCS and Academy broadcasts as we try to set them up for you, or always taking your feedback and iterating to make it much better for you. Again, Raz, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody on the online broadcast crew that made this happen. I hope you all have a great night, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for that Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid match.